you. excited about tonight's stream?
Yeah, I'm a little worried though.
About what?
Well, it's the holidays.
The holidays are great.
Right, but do you know what happens in our offices during the holidays?
No.
They say if you've been naughty this year, then your worst fears come down this hallway.
No, wait! No!
Welcome to the Konsui Fighter Live Holiday Special. Hey guys, welcome to a holiday special of Konsui Fighter Live. I'm Logan Jensen, and I'm here with Shane Helms and Sean Cornett. Thanks for being a part of today's special stream.
Yeah.
We have quite a bit to cover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So just kind of like a broad overview. We're going to be kind of giving you some updates on Konsui Fighter, where we are at. It's been a little while since we've done a non-gaming stream or like a Gundam stream. Yeah. So we have a lot to catch up on for you guys. We're going to talk about, this year, what's
this year.
the pros and cons of this year. We got a little gifts for each other, so we're going to spend some time, see what we got for each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a little mystery activity that they don't know that we're gonna do, and then about that is going to be an open discussion where we're going to talk about things like
that
next gen stuff.
Yeah. Topic current events in the gaming industry. It's kind of an open discussion on that. We have 3 topics for discussion on that today. So
sure.
So yeah, been a hot minute since we've had an update stream, but we have been plugging away despite the circumstances at the game, and we got a lot to share. So I think we're going to just kind of run through each of the key things that everybody's kind of been working on lately. So Logan, you've been a little busy with some fun legally
stuff. Yep. So currently we're working with trademarks,
mm-hmm.
and currently Circean Studios and Konsui Fighter are in the process of being trademarked. They're with the USPTO currently, and then I just submitted our logo for our logos for each of those as well for trademark. So for those of you who don't know how trademark works, you not only have to say, like for us, it was Circean Studios. So we have to say Circean Studios, the name is trademarked.
Mm-hmm.
Now here's our logo for it.
Which is separate.
Right. And then you also have to trademark that. And they're both about $300 a piece
to even apply.
Yeah.
And that's not refundable.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So if anything's screwed up, we don't get our money back and we get to redo it. So.
One of the other things too, for anybody who might be like getting into small business stuff too, part of the reason for like the term marks, we're an LLC, so that trademark on the term for your business name is how you can actually protect your business name and brand nationwide,
mm-hmm.
as opposed to statewide, which you normally get through your registration as an LLC. So it just helps us protect our identity and the game, and we will be looking early next year into some trademarks for the engine.
There's always like weird loopholes too. Like we registered it for like this type of business, but there could be like a Circean lawn mowing company, and that would be valid.
Because it's a different business sector. Yep.
That stuff's always weird.
Yeah. So I think the engine will definitely have more filings to do because it will cover a bit of a broader product spread as far as what sector that's in. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun going through all that. Another pretty big development. She's not with us today, but you may have seen her on some of our previous streams. Ellen has officially joined the team in the capacity of doing our tutorial scripting. We got a contract going with her to put together the outlines and the actual script text for each of the 14 training modules we currently have planned for the game. We'll talk about this a little bit more as we go, but the first 4 we're working to include in the current beta 1.2 version that we're working on right now. I've got a little video preview here of some of the tutorial segment, and Sean has been putting together some of the actual implementation to take those scripts and put them in the game. So how has that process been, I guess?
I mean, luckily it's pretty straightforward because you've already done a lot of the work on making the infrastructure we're using to do a lot of this. I'm just kind of pasting in Ellen's words and making sure things fit and time out well and things.
We had to enhance the AI a little bit, right?
Yeah,
for some of this?
we're still working on parts of that, but at least a lot of the basics where we can like trigger them to punch or block and command. So this is kind of a special setup. And there's a bit of hacks here and there to make it all work, but it's pretty solid for what it is.
Yeah.
And it works good.
We also did a little bit of updates now that we are kind of more aggressively targeting controller supports to kind of flex the verbiage and whatnot as needed for like whether you're using a controller or using touch. So
yeah, and we have separate dialogues for certain parts of that, or like, arrows don't necessarily need to point at controls that aren't there. So yeah,
and we haven't really done the work yet to replace part of the bottom bar when you're not in touch mode.
Yeah,
but that is on our roadmap. So so outside of the training stuff, you kind of mentioned it. We've been working on some AI enhancements, and you've also been working a lot on some underlying refactoring on the network implementation. So do you want to talk about that a little bit? Like, honestly, to the average user, what does that kind of mean,
Honestly, this is some changes like I kind of wanted to do before, but it was solid enough. We kind of put together a lot of that networking stuff for one of the conventions we had, and it's been pretty solid, but it's lots of steps of like intermingling gears that all have to time out well. So I've been kind of refactoring some of that to clean it up and allow weird special cases that help us test things. Like if I run the PC build and then want to run like another PC build or do something like that, they do weird conflicts. So there's easier ways where that works out.
We actually did a couple minor tweaks recently to get the PC, desktop version of the game, which will eventually be coming hopefully to storefronts like Steam, and we're kind of open to looking at Epic and some other options directly with mobile.
Yeah.
Because I think the idea is like if you have a device that runs a game, we generally want to support it being able to play with someone else who has it on a completely different platform. That'll be interesting when we start looking at consoles like Switch.
Yeah.
Like what they'll permit. And I know Apple can be a little weird about some of that, but we'll see.
Because right now this is still local only.
Yeah.
So if you're on the same network, it shouldn't care what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Same protocol. Right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. At most, we might just have like an indicator to say, hey, this person's on a PC or a phone if we care.
Yeah.
Yep.
So another little area, there's been a couple of mechanical improvements in the game. We're kind of getting to like minor stuff though, because a lot of the fundamentals of the game are there. But one of the things that we worked on recently was some improvements to blocking. So we talked in the last update stream about how the blocking system was kind of tweaked to behave a little bit differently. We find that it works a little bit better against a lot of like area threat attacks. But now we've also added pushback, because one of the things we kind of noticed during gameplay is that without pushback, you kind of just get pinned down in place if you're blocking. And a lot of our kind of, I guess, balancing and where a lot of the gameplay variation comes into play is kind of the vertical movement and area control. So this kind of just helps enhance that a little bit more by adding a little more spacing. It's not something that you'll really see. I didn't have a great way to like demonstrate this through video, but we also did some refactoring to our particle offset system. So we have some most moves are driven by physics. So we'll say, this is going to move at this rate in this direction. But some moves, we actually have framed animation where the character kind of offsets their frame based on frame to frame variation. And so we tweaked the way that works now so that it's a lot smoother and it's easier for us to manage in the tool.
Yeah. There's definitely cases where you want physics to make it look natural, but other cases it doesn't look right. So you just kind of need to align things. So yeah, it's a weird balance.
Yep. So aside from gameplay, I've been working on a lot of music for the soundtrack. I think I've probably banged out like 5 or 6 tracks this release. And story content. So I'm going to talk on a little bit of those. First off, for the stage themes, I wrapped up Yasu's stage theme. So I figured we'd take a couple minutes here to...
Mimics.
Yes.
A
couple minutes. Take a couple minutes here to flip over to a preview of that. And then when we come back, I'm going to talk a little bit about Kenta's story. And I got a little sneak preview of that. So take a gander at Yasu's stage theme. So yeah, that is Yasu's stage theme. It will be available. You couldn't hear it.
I mean, I'm trying.
In his head, it was amazing.
Right, I was trying to be nice, but I guess.
Did you?
You're breaking the fourth wall.
You guys, right?
It's in that folder. Did you send it once?
I thought I sent it to the group in WhatsApp.
You probably did. Yeah. I know you had that folder.
I'm trying to be better about sending those to you guys.
I want to hear the whole soundtrack all at once.
I mean, there are 40 tracks in the Dropbox share right now.
Yeah.
And counting. So, the other side of this is Kenta's story. So I've been working on scripting it out. It's not quite done, but I've got his story segment is kind of requiring a bit more music work than usual. He has a part of his story that kind of I have a variation of the themes that you would normally see for him, so I have to kind of put together 2 versions of each of the tracks, but it's come along well. And I put together a little teaser video here to kind of show you guys a little bit of a taste of some snippets from Kenta's story. So let's take a look. that's just a little taste of some of Kenta's story. We'll have more to share, but the plan is to have that chapter included in the beta 1.2 build that we're working on right now. So look forward to that in the coming weeks as we get that wrapped up.
Yep.
So what else has been going on? Well, Jazz has been working on a lot of art, and I thought it would be kind of nice to take a little bit of a look at some of the stuff he's been working on. So one of the other minor mechanical things that we've kind of had planned for the game is refining our standard air hits. If you played the early access, you might have noticed that every time you take a hit in air, even if it's just like a standard punch, it causes a full knockdown where you have to recover from prone. And that kind of interrupts the pace of the gameplay a bit. Typically, you'll find that most other fighters, standard hit will just kind of cause you to do, basically remove your air neutral state, and then when you land, you actually land neutral so you can begin attacking again. So to kind of address that, we're putting together the materials to have what we're calling non-knockdown or non-KD air hits. And Jazz has been working pretty hard on putting those together, and I'm going to pull up kind of a preview of some of the little, these are just rough cut GIFs that Jazz put together to kind of capture the raw frames. But you can see some of the different characters here and what that hit will look like. And note that, yeah, each one of them lands essentially in their neutral stance position. So as part of the next release, 1.3, we'll be working on getting these colored and integrated into the game and have that mechanic added in. Kind of on that note, I think the only item, and I don't know that we'll touch on this in detail later, but in the release overview, the only other like real mechanical item we have on the outline is just a little bit more polish on our grappling process. So making sure there's enough frames for initiating the grapple and breaking the grapple between the characters. Beyond that, I think we're pretty down to a lock on the mechanics for the core of the game. So that's pretty exciting. On top of that, one of the other big efforts that we've been working on in this release has been prototyping Haku's build. He's the next character we're focusing on. That includes things like voice mastering, rigging up some prototypes of his moves and stuff. Jazz, on the art side, has been working on putting together the new frame content for his special moves. And we shared a little bit of this last time, but I just thought it'd be kind of nice to show the latest for some of the different move content that he's put together for Haku. And on that same note, I captured a little bit of the gameplay of our prototype build of Haku, just kind of showing off some of these builds. So we're kind of taking more of a full prototype approach now, where we'll drop in just the rough content, or even hard cut content, or even some of the reference sketches, as you can see here, with some of the notes included. We toss that into the game engine to start building out aspects of the character to see, how the moves flow, how the combo paths flow, get a feel for the rough balancing, timings, go ahead and code the physics interactions, the projectile, things like that. So we've got a pretty good spot for Haku with this now. I think in the next release we'll be working to finalize the actual content, get that stubbed in, and round out his character. Obviously doing some balancing things.
Yep.
Yeah, he's feeling pretty good so far. I don't want to give away too much about Haku, but if you kind of are familiar with the other characters, you might notice he's sort of a hybrid character that draws from the 8 core characters, moves in a particular way. So we're pretty excited to get him in the build.
Yep.
Yeah.
Almost last character.
Yep. After this, we just have Khan. So I think that is really kind of the big dump of a lot of what we've been working on. Yes, I said dump. Lately, we've not been as active on stream, partially because of our next topic, 2020 in review. But the team has been working to try to keep progress moving as hard as we can throughout the year. So hopefully that'll continue into 2021.
To be fair, we've always had a little bit of slow like winter from what
It's
we've
tough
seen.
because we have a lot of events.
Yeah.
I feel like, or like
Holidays,
prep
birthdays.
prep for other. So. But yeah, so moving on to 2020 in review. Logan.
Yeah.
We started off this year with a particular event.
Right. So we started off 2020 with like a smash, right?
Uh-huh.
So
Logan Smash.
yeah. So we had. Did
Remember
you
when
happen
you
to
could
prep any pictures?
travel?
I did.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sweet. So
You're welcome.
yep. So our first event that we did in January was PAX South. This is our second time going
to South.
South. This is
Yeah.
our third PAX. But
Remember crowds and traveling?
Yeah. Back in my day.
but it was this was a really great show because we were selected as part of PAX Rising.
Mhm.
So there were only, I think there was like 8 people that were chosen as part of PAX Rising. So we were fortunate to be one of them.
Mhm.
It's our booth is that center piece that you see there. Booth was pretty much always hopping. There was always people there.
It's kind of prime placement, which is nice.
Right, yeah, it's really good placement. I definitely think that how we decided to kind of work with our backdrop that we got and all that. Like even I think the one of the main guys of that's in charge of like filling up the spots.
Mm-hmm.
He said that there has rarely been people that ever mess with the backdrop. Like it's typically like
just a
right. It's just a flat image. So the fact that we took the time to get LED lights on it, we got a 3D effect with the logo, and
Ellen worked really hard on that.
yeah,
Cutting it
that
out,
is
yeah.
definitely
Props to Ellen because that was a lot of work to piece all these together. She
Cut 'em out.
basically had to hand cut them, Dremel them, and that was a lot of work.
And then we had to ship them without them falling apart because they're
Yeah.
just like foam
core.
with paper.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really a team effort to bring the booth together.
Yep.
But this was also the first show that we brought fight sticks.
Yes, and really featured the PC version.
Yep.
People were pretty happy with it.
So yeah, we had a few people that kept coming back. We had one gentleman individual
that guy.
who came for several hours
He was
each
great.
day.
Each day,
Yeah.
And
He
he
was
gave us
even-
a lot of really good feedback.
He was even like teaching other people how to play.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it was great.
So, and then we were also we were really excited to be a part of the Houston Gamers Party.
Mhm.
This is our second year doing it. Same thing, super fun to do. I think the
It's only,
pictures
like,
are on
2
the
blocks
left.
away. Yeah, the left
the
middle
left,
and the bottom.
center, and
Yep.
left bottom from the party.
But yeah, so those are really fun. So
Honestly, the only problem there wasn't necessarily their fault. Like, they only had one food truck,
Yeah.
and the line took forever.
Supposedly, what I heard at the show was that they had another truck booked that just never showed.
Yeah.
And that wasn't on them.
No,
Like,
it wasn't.
They
It just-
were scrambling.
Shane and I waited standing after standing all day for like hours.
It took like an
Oh.
hour to get an okay burger.
Yeah. Oh well.
But
We were
it-
desperate.
last year though they had some really awesome
Yeah.
street tacos and stuff.
I was looking
so-
forward to it.
it has been brought to our attention that it is a hard time. We have a hard time hearing you, Shane.
Oh no, is my thing not plugged in all the way?
Did you try unplugging
might
it
also
and
just be- let
replugging
me
it?
try moving this.
Or are your levels off?
I mean, they're all kind of unified on the mixer, but I'll try to speak up a little bit, and I'll just talk at Logan to try to pick
Yeah.
up more of.
I
me.
see your levels moving, so you
Yeah.
are picked up.
Yeah, we'll try to make it work.
Right.
But
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, really good show.
Mhm.
We the other show we were going to go to was going to be NakaCon, which is our local Kansas City anime convention. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19,
That's when
they
it all
had
started.
to
Yeah.
they canceled it 15 minutes before.
it was pretty nuts. Yeah, like we weren't sure is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? This was right mid-March when COVID was really kind of starting to ramp up, and people were still figuring out what they were going to do. Like, I think I was still going into the office right before that.
Oh yeah.
And it was 15 minutes before people were supposed to be picking up badges. They called off the event. And I know a lot of people were really disappointed because a lot of them had traveled into town from out of state. They didn't have a way to refund hotels or their travel, and they didn't have anything to do when they got here. I think, honestly, the Naka team, unfortunately, it just wasn't good timing for them.
No.
I do feel like they probably should have made the call a little bit sooner, just played it on the safe side, but it's a tough position for everybody because it's also really hard to cancel that far in with vendors and guests and everybody.
And even financially, they're not a big organization.
No.
So,
yeah.
So that wasn't, so we weren't able to go to that. Naka is planned for, I think, fall of next year.
Yeah.
So we'll probably try to go to that. Of course, this is all still in the air because, as far as I know, COVID-19 is not going anywhere. So
you won't even have a decent number of vaccinations till summer.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So we'll see.
Yep.
But at least the beginning part of this year was super badass
Yeah.
and cool.
Yeah.
And I think that's at least the beginning part.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next thing I had was kind of, how have we been impacted by the pandemic? So, for a lot of us, our jobs went to remote only, I'd say around mid-March, right? Or early April.
I think March.
And I was already kind
12th
of being
or
remote.
16th was like my last day in the office.
In the office.
And then I started working here and at home.
Mm-hmm.
But then there was the complete lockdown in April.
Yeah, so we had like 2 months or so where we were not physically meeting up here.
Yep.
And that presented a few challenges.
I have got a beam of light on my face.
The gods are shining down on you.
Logan.
I'm just gonna move over here if you guys are okay with that.
In that time frame, we did kind of try to meet up a little bit more on like Teams and stuff or Discord to chat periodically.
Yeah.
But I think things did slow down a little bit. We had to get a couple things in order to make it feasible. So, like for me, I have here at the studio my pretty elaborate music production setup, and the way that works, I have a specific license. I actually ended up having to get a iLock key, which basically lets me move the license to that so I can take it with me and get my home system all set up with the software and the libraries and get it authenticated and get my guitar set up there. So now I'm now I'm at a point where it's kind of nice because as a result, now I can just carry the key with me, and whether I'm at home on an off day where we're not meeting up or I'm here, I have what I need to do music production at either setup. So there were some hurdles, but I think some of those things have kind of helped give us some more avenues. And like Jas is in Japan, so he's kind of been working with us remotely anyway.
And he's technically safer.
So we've been making it work as best we can. It just project like Logan,
Yeah.
Can you hear my voice? But at this point, our day jobs are still kind of remote. We're back to meeting up here. We're still kind of playing it safe out in public. But so far we're at a point where I think we're in a pretty good rhythm until something changes. Either way, with what the recommendation for the public health is. So that kind of leads into plans for 2021. So what do we have planned, Logan, for 2021? We
Get vaccinated.
A little bit. But as far as just like events.
So the only other event that we would have, that we typically do at the beginning of the year is always PAX South. So PAX officially announced that there is not going to be a South next year.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. They are still doing East and West that are going to be later in the year. So
I haven't heard anything from Naka.
yeah,
don't-
in the fall.
yeah,
In the
Naka is
fall. Oh,
going to
that's right.
be
They
I think
moved. That's right.
Labor Day
Labor Day
weekend.
weekend. somewhere.
Which honestly I think might work out better. Like
Yeah.
it was always kind of freezing cold, at least in the mornings. So I wouldn't mind.
I don't
more
know.
fall.
The according or with at least their like social media, a lot of people aren't super happy with
Sure.
that because they're like, well, now you're messing with our Labor Day plans, and I'm like, I mean, like we're giving you a year's notice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, it used to be around spring break.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not new for them to overlap it with like
A holiday,
week.
which honestly makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Right. But, so overall, it's, next year is still, hopefully it's better than this year. But I
Yeah.
mean, it's as far as just anything in a public space, it's all up in the air.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not realistic to be like, we're going to be here.
Yeah.
We would love to go to places so that more
Right.
people can check out the game and see what we've done to improve things, because we've added a lot since PAX this year that I think people would really like. But just realistically, it's not going to happen. So that's really, at least I can say that we will attempt to do is NACA.
Yeah.
But obviously keep if you're not already, follow us on social media on Twitter, Facebook, and typically if there's any type of big posting like that of we're going to be at an event, I definitely post it there pretty soon after.
Times.
Right. Multiple times and pretty soon after I find out. So
Yeah.
just follow, give us a like.
Yeah.
And kind of on that same note, on the game side, I thought it would be good to kind of take a high-level look at where we are on our overall release schedule to launch. Because
Yeah.
it's been a little while since we've shared that publicly. But this is kind of our high-level release board. For those who aren't familiar, we're using Trello. I know a lot of other developers use that, and they'll even make kind of public release outlines. But we use that, and every time we actually start a release, this becomes its own subboard where we actually break out everybody's tasks. so ran out of a little bit of air on that one.
Matter puberty.
But yeah, so this is kind of our high-level feature board. So as you can see, beta 1.2, we're kind of on the latter end of that. The big things we have are kind of wrapping up Kenta's story, wrapping up the 4 tutorial modules for this release, and that'll be out the door. So to get to launch, we're kind of down to the last 3 release cycles. So just to touch on some of the highlights, in 1.3, as we kind of mentioned, that's where we'll be incorporating the full build for Haku. Now, he will not be playable in that release because he comes into play toward the end of the story mode. He's going to be an unlockable character in the release version of the game, but it's still important to note that we are doing the work to get him under thumb as part of that effort. We'll also be ramping up and starting the concept and prototype Kon, our final character for release. And he'll be an interesting character to put together.
Yeah,
we'll say.
a bit funky.
he's got some very different structure to how his character will work. We'll probably talk about that in some of the update streams to come. Continued work on tutorials, AI, some more soundtrack and story work. I think I have, from this point forward, 2 story chapters per release to get to launch. Yeah, 1.4 is Kon's main assembly, and 1.0 is kind of some of the final balancing, tweaking, polish features. We have final release prep and kind of verification before we get that pushed out the door. Then not on here, we have a number of post-launch releases that we've kind of started scoping out. I think we'll wait to really get that on the radar until we're closer to the release phase, but we definitely have talked about some further optimizations and improvements and just new features that we want to add to the game post-launch. Things like full controller support for the mobile side, which we actually have a little bit of a preview internally for the team now of that. support for online play with our network protocol. We kind of need to hook into some different platforms for matchmaking and that kind of thing. And I've been discussing a little bit with Jas, like kicking around the idea of a fresh coat of paint, so to speak, on the actual character assets in game, getting a more we talked about this in one of our previous streams, but at the moment we have a slight upscale. It's being performed on the native assets, but we're kind of scoping out like how much effort would it be to get a fresh native pass of that scale factor. So we'll see. If it's kind of one of those things we have to, I think, justify the investment of time and in that, but these are kind of things we're talking about. If you guys have ideas for features you would like to see post-launch, be sure to shoot them our way on social or in the chat on one of our streams, and we'd like to hear what the community has up their sleeve. So.
Also, to point out, this version 1 release is mainly the Android version. We are still planning like iOS, PC, other builds.
Yeah, so later. I mean, at the moment, I think we're pretty committed to the desktop release to follow Android.
Yeah.
Because we already have that at a pretty good spot. We just need to do a little bit more work to add some polish to it for little things like having clean settings for managing resolution and remapping controls and stuff like that. But once that work is done, I think we'll be looking at least at getting the game up and listed on Steam.
And we have had versions of it working on like iOS and Mac OS.
Mac OS, Linux.
Linux should be
straightforward. The desktop version I think will be targeting Windows, Mac OS, and Linux, and then we'll be focusing on an iOS release. I think after we get the first version of that to the store, and then around that time frame, I think we're going to be making a pitch to try to get a Switch dev kit and look into getting the game on Switch.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the range of what we're targeting for this release for now. But hopefully we can get to that point. We're excited to bring it to more platforms.
Yeah.
More platforms gives you more ways to play and hopefully play with more people. So, So with that underway, we are now on to
the important part.
Gifts. The original banner that I had for this was something like the team shows their appreciation for one another by exchanging material goods or something like that.
Oh, this is about appreciation.
It didn't quite fit on the banner at the bottom, so no.
Corporate,
corporate
obligatory gift giving
by continuing to spread. It's in a corporate joy. But this is for those who might be new to our streams. This is a tradition now.
Yep.
We do this on stream. This is like
Logan demanded it as a tradition
that we've done the gift exchange on stream. So.
Yep, I'm like, hey, let's share our love for each other with everybody else. So hopefully we'll do some more holiday streams next year. I think just because of the pandemic right now, like we didn't get to do a Halloween stream.
In general, we've been very kind of low key.
So I'm planning on us trying to do more Gundam streams. Maybe add in some like board games or something like that. Just
mix it up a bit.
Mix it up. Have you guys hang out with us and talk about the game and game news, all that.
Yep.
So without further ado,
admittedly, I also cheated. There's like wife and fiance gifts in here, but
LJS. Oh, that's dog. Okay. I thought that was like S-Pay. And I'm like, Low J S-Pay. I'm like, who the hell is
wrong
S-Pay?
company.
So I will hand this
Do we
out.
want to just do like everybody open one thing at the same time?
I teased Shane on one of my things, and so he thought that you should open that one first.
Okay, well, I'm going to say open that one first. And then
Shane needs one?
Shane.
How about that one?
That one.
Okay.
Just there. I was trying different things with the wording.
I had about 30 minutes this morning to cram y'all's shit in wrapping paper and put tape.
I did
So-
mine at like 2 a.m.
It kind of gets to that point.
I did
where
mine
it's like-
yesterday watching The Price is Right.
Yeah,
so.
it kind of gets to that point where it's like this is going to be in pieces in like 4 hours.
Yeah,
so
basically.
it's
good enough.
You can't see
There's
what it is by looking at
A bunch of my boxes were like borrowed whatever I
Oh,
had
yeah.
laying around. So yeah.
All right, let's go. Round 1.
3,
Fight.
2, 1.
It's
Ah!
about-
More of these.
Oh, I know what that is. I remember. I'm like, what do you
Man,
talk
I
about
really need
earlier?
to
Yes.
Spice and Wolf manga. I really need to finish this series because I really love the anime.
Making me work for that.
And the nice thing is, it's one of the few manga that has an ending. It doesn't go on for like 500 pages.
Oh.
So,
How do you like your gift?
uh,
Ah,
Oh yeah.
nice. Hey, centipede shirts.
He made it easy. He has
I know.
a
I
nice
have a
list
pretty
of
elaborate
things.
wish list. But for those who, I guess I haven't worn them on stream a whole lot. We got our like Christmassy sweaters this time, but I've been on some of my off time. I've been tinkering with Atari 2600 development, and I've been collecting a lot of Atari shirts.
Konsui Fighter is not coming to Atari. Just so
No.
we're clear.
That would be nearly impossible
Yes,
to fit
yeah.
that. Well, without using modern hardware in the cartridge.
Yeah, you'd have to cheat.
But very cool.
And then Logan.
Yeah.
I got some computer chippy stuff
Yep.
that I have
There's-
no
there's
idea what this is,
Some power
but I
regulators.
assume Sean
some
is going to
relays,
explain it to me.
And then a little Wi-Fi module that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that comes later. That's just
Yeah.
a tease. I
Oh,
felt bad
okay.
because there was only like 2 presents for you, but this is part of the 2 presents.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
I just haven't wired it
Well, we'll
together.
Yeah.
I'll do the wiring. You don't have to do that. And I did include the wires because I figured that'd be.
And then Sean, you didn't really.
No, I mentioned it. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is Spice and Wolf's a very good manga and anime.
I need
That
to.
I enjoy.
I need to get into it at some point. I've
Yeah.
seen bits of
It's-
the anime.
It's
and
funny because
pretty
it's kind of slow, honestly, but it is a nice like slice of life love story, and just has some like interesting little bits to it. Like it even like this one thing I love with manga and anime, like you can find weird stuff that you wouldn't expect. Like this has a lot of stuff where they talk about trade and how trade works and stuff,
Mhm.
which I'm not normally interested in, but they do a good job of making it fun. But yeah, so and I got the first 2 volumes from them last year, so.
You need to now make him wait on the other part of that for the very end.
I get yeah.
See,
I guess I'll save that
you
one
gotta,
to the end.
You gotta keep him
Sure.
wondering what in the hell that's
Not that
for.
one then. Yeah, that one for me if you want, or you can do another one from Shane.
Oh well, I did yours, so I'll do one from Shane.
Sure.
Okay.
So,
That's Allison.
Shane, you could do that purple one.
Okay. I guess why don't you give Sean the one from me that's not a printout? Yeah. Yes, that one. Which one are you doing for me?
I don't know.
There's the 2 in front of you there. The smaller one. And
Oh, well, S Dog is. There's 2 S Dogs. I didn't know which one this was.
I kept you guessing.
S Dog 1 or S Dog 2?
And then, okay, sweet. All right, 3,
All right.
2, 1.
We were talking about this earlier.
Yep. Nice.
Ooh. Oh, hey. Okay, this is pretty cool. So I actually have been curious about this. Star Trek Catan.
Oh
We,
yeah.
we-
Nice.
I have heard that like this does a number of customizations on base Catan that are pretty fun. And we haven't played Catan in like a hot minute, but I do really like Catan. Thanks.
I figured, since you like Catan. Hey, oh, sweet. I didn't see that.
Yep. The Persona 5
Yep.
soundtrack, which
It's the
Japanese import,
release,
which is the
and,
better one.
So I figured it worked out that I give it to you here,
Uh-huh.
so I can rip it for you.
Oh, yeah.
While we're here today, and you can get it digitally.
Because like just the other day I've been listening to it on YouTube.
Yep.
So.
And I'm like, he's probably been listening to this, but you know what? It was on his wish list,
Yep.
and it's pretty dope.
It
So,
is.
Do you know how that works.
Yes. So,
It's not a complete set.
right. So, did you open this at all?
No.
Okay.
I did.
So, first off, thank you.
Yeah.
So this is, because I really was considering it.
Yeah.
This is a blind box set
Yeah.
Oh.
of a bunch of blind boxes.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Blind
could spend the
box.
rest of the stream of just opening
It's
these.
the gift that keeps giving.
Yep. So these are polygon versions of the original Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, those.
I would say like disc 1.
Yes.
Because it's got Barrett, Sephiroth, Reno, Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, and Red
Can you
13,
grab me
and then
napkin?
Yeah. Give me just a second.
Yeah.
Just gonna.
technical well, I guess.
No. Just
human.
Keep rolling.
And then there's, I can't tell if there's like a secret one, because there's like this little circular blob.
They almost always have a secret one.
But, so this is actually, so the Square site only sells these as basically how you would find them on a retail shelf. Of like, this is a box of blind boxes that are going to contain these figures. Now,
Yeah.
so here's the
Usually-
things that sucks.
Usually you'd buy them individually.
Even though
Could
there's,
get duplicates.
Yeah.
well, I will, because there are
Yeah.
more boxes than there are figures.
Yeah.
But that doesn't also guarantee that there's at least one of each figure in here.
They have a disclaimer when you buy it that you are not guaranteed to get it.
But I'm not gonna lie, like I really, really wanted this.
Yep, I kind of knew.
So-
So I looking around on the store, I kind of wanted to get that for you, and then I remember at one point we talked about it because you were looking or browsing the store, and when I looked again, I'm like, yeah, he'll probably get duplicates, but at least he got it as a gift.
Yep.
So like you're not
Well,
missing out. For
So,
getting
and
duplicates.
here-
before you open it, which one are you wanting? I assume.
I want all of them.
Right,
Okay, then yeah,
right.
sure. I didn't know if there's like one you were in particular.
Yeah.
I mean, I would at least, of course, I would really like, I would really like Cloud,
Yeah.
Reno, and Sephiroth.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'll take it. But I
Yeah.
won't open all of them right now because I have to take a whole.
Mm.
But I will do one.
Sure.
And because Shane, you got these for me, I will let you pick which one I open first
Ah.
in
Do
front.
that one.
This one?
Yep.
Okay. So, yeah, just like if you went to like a retail store, it's a blind box, you don't know what's in it.
Yeah, it would usually sell those individually.
Yeah.
Yep. So, yeah, if you could see, there's like a little circular thing
Yeah,
that
there is a hidden character on
Which
So-
is typical.
we'll see which one this is. And this one, ladies and gentlemen,
I guess it could be Catsip if it's a
Is-
round blob.
it is Barrett.
there. Ooh.
Wow,
Ah.
this is really
The
padded.
man with the machine gun.
Yep. Yeah, this is actually like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to get back to playing the remake.
Yep.
But I've had a lot to play lately. Nice.
You gotta feel it.
So what's gonna happen is Logan's gonna open the next one with me, and it's another Barrett. Okay.
All bears.
This is
Yeah,
a
just
box
there
of
we go.
Barrett.
You open the next one. Barrett again. Okay. Yeah, they all just end up being Barrett.
well, sweet. It's like a gift that you just
Yeah.
keep
Yeah,
opening.
yeah,
So I
That's a good
will
one.
put this right here.
Yeah.
Now
All right.
Next round.
Uh,
So I guess you should probably get something
Okay.
from
Sean.
Sean.
So,
That one's
Uh,
for me.
Do the smaller box. Yeah.
and Shane needs.
Do you want this
Doesn't
one
matter.
for me?
Sure.
I want you to just look. I need you to tell people what that says.
Yeah. This one's
Uh,
technically in theme.
See Shane.exe.
Yep.
You know what's really sad about this? People at work joke about Shane.exe. Like they joke about me just fixing all this stuff, and they're
Wow.
like, "Oh, just run Shane.exe," and I'm like, "Yeah,
Don't
that's
run
pretty
Shane.
I didn't even know.
yeah."
Is there a command line switch I should add to it?
Oh, there probably would be like,
Slash fix.
Yeah, different arguments.
All right.
All right, go.
What?
Yep, Cuphead.
Oh, hey.
See? In theme.
Yeah, nice. There you go.
And I've realized I've gotten you like a book like that almost every year.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, so I actually found this like randomly browsing around. I've collected a couple of like, I wouldn't call them art books, but they're sort of like
art history,
documentary type books that cover like video game stuff, like gaming hardware or gaming artwork. And yeah, this is the CRPG book, which is all about classic computer RPGs, dungeon crawlers, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool, and also a good guide for me to know like some of the titles that went down.
I saw that and I was immediately this is pretty cool.
For my old, I just randomly came across it, like browsing books one day. I was like, oh, I gotta add that to my wish list.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
And
So
it's pretty thick.
I got, I got a standing table light that is the Xbox
it can be wall
controller
mounted
logo, or wall mounted.
Yeah.
But what I want to try to do is get
Hint.
Gotcha.
Hint.
Is basically when I turn on my Xbox, I want this logo to also turn on.
Sure.
I basically want to have my room be like Xbox mode.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I turn on my PlayStation, I want it to have a PlayStation mode. But it's funny because I randomly came across this and I had no idea that they had this. I knew the PlayStation one, and I've had that on my wish list for a while. And then I saw this one and I was like, oh my God, like I really want this. So thank you.
So yes, that's what those chips are. It's a spoiler. I'm going to program them to do stuff like that. Like at first you said you wanted it to be controlled by Alexa, but I could probably also detect the Xbox. But I need to finalize like how I'm going to wire it up. I did take it apart just to see how it's wired, and it's going to be pretty straightforward, but I also didn't know like I can
Oh, you took this apart?
Just there's kind of 4 screws and I put it back together just to see how
it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah. So I didn't know if you wanted to make it like flush wall mount and then I had to put stuff inside, or I can probably like wire it up just to be, because that also could be USB powered. So we'll work that out. But
sweet, yeah, thanks.
I at least got the chips. Oh, nice.
Yeah, they go all the way up to like modern stuff. Nice.
And then I thought I would change it up. He's been using calendars for the past 2 years. I've been on calendars.
Yep.
So now I'm like, okay, well, I don't want to get rid of that.
I'm bad
But
with
the
dates.
last 2 years has been Mario.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, let's change it up. I know that you really like the art
I
style.
love the
of
art
Cuphead,
style.
of
Yeah.
Cuphead.
And the music's great. I need to actually play it, but
It's a lot of fun.
yeah. It's
it
mostly
makes you
boss
want to
rush.
punch somebody.
It
Kinda,
can,
yeah.
But
No, it does. It's not that it can. It does.
Did you try? Oh yeah, you did try.
I did
it.
try.
I've played a couple hours of it. I enjoyed it, but yeah. It's definitely a game that like you have to develop the skills.
Yeah.
To get through it.
Admittedly, I was
I
slightly
don't want the
worried.
skills. I want them right now. This?
I was slightly worried because it was about the size of a
Go
record.
ahead and I guess give Sean the envelope. We'll get
Oh.
that out of the way.
Okay.
So I'm looked again. I'm pretty sure this was a pre-order. So it's
sure.
not here yet, but it should be here on Tuesday.
You have one more for me. Here's
And
one for
one more.
Logan.
So I guess me, since
Yeah, I'll do
sure.
Logan.
he's gonna do me.
This one's super exciting. It's a piece of paper
Uh-huh.
with an image on it.
Hey, it works.
All right, here we go. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sensing a theme here. So yeah, it's the like collector's edition Ultra HD.
Yeah,
version
yeah.
of the Kira
I was really
that
curious
you
about
had
that.
on your wish list. Yeah.
Nice.
it's actually
think-
just a picture of
Yeah.
it. We didn't
Yeah,
actually
just
buy
the
it.
picture.
Just like stick it in the
Get a frame
disc.
for that, we can just iron out those creases.
Have you ever? That reminds me. Ever seen the manga set?
Yes,
It's
nuts.
Insane. Yeah.
But
I don't know if I want to go that hardcore,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's supposed to be really good.
This version's supposed to
Yeah.
be kind of their new like.
I got
definitive
a
edition.
PlayStation shirt
Yep.
to go with
I-
my
Perfect.
PlayStation hoodie
Yep.
to go with my Xbox light.
Yep.
Yes.
I
All in
was
theme.
back and forth on what shirt to get you. but I landed on that one.
Yeah, no, I
Kinda
mean,
hard to go wrong with the
with classic, I
Yeah,
really,
they had
I
so
love the
many-
color
Yeah.
logo
Yeah.
on just like, yeah, this is really cool.
Nice. It
I
looks
like
like a
the
good
colored
material
logo.
too.
Yeah, it's really soft.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of their shirts too were like white, and I'm like,
Yeah, I don't
I
work
have
good.
a hard
I don't
time
look good on
getting-
white shirts because
Well,
you can
it's a white
typically
shirt.
see it through it.
Uh huh.
But anyways, so and then what you have
this is the
expansions.
Nice.
to Catan. So this adds the Federation space maps. It's pretty sweet.
So for like the robber in that, is it just the Borg cube?
Oh,
That'd be great.
Yeah, I was in when I was visiting my brother in Seattle.
Oh yeah.
We went
yeah.
to a board game store, and I saw that Star Trek Catan. And I was like, oh my god,
Yeah,
I have to get this for Shane because Shane's a big Star Trek
I do.
loser.
I'm
Anyways,
Star Trek and Star Wars. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but
it's,
what's the
Heretic.
percent?
honestly,
The
probably
percent.
50-50.
Nope.
I like both on their merits.
Yeah, they're different.
I would say growing up, of my friends, I was probably a little bit more the Trekkie and they were a little more the Star Wars, but that was the thing. It's like we shared
Yeah.
that aspect with one another. So, yeah. There's more of Star Wars that I've come to know in more recent years. Like, I had, my friend Brian was really big into the EU at the time, and I only knew, like, certain stuff of that. But, like, now that I've kind of learned the stories and stuff, it's kind of neat to see.
And then the prequels came out and it almost
Right.
ruined it. But
We were talking about that the other night.
Yeah.
Like, but, yep. All right. Well, I guess then,
or that, either way.
yeah, either one.
Oh my god, it's low gain.
Yeah.
Yep. It's like Rogaine, but specifically for you, Logan.
Getting those
Sweet.
gains.
Sean,
Oh, I guess that
there you
one,
go.
yeah.
I guess so.
Okay.
This is Allison's. This is Ellen. That's
Another
Ellen.
Ellen.
And then this is
That's for
mine.
you.
And then this is for everybody.
Okay.
Ah, cool.
And that's just something small, but I figured it would go with some stuff.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay. So
And
this is technically the final round, right?
Basically.
Because that's just a little.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Yep. All right.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Because I don't have enough Gundam figures.
No,
Air.
that's a pretty sweet one.
Oh, yeah. That is nice. There's a handful that I found, and I'm like, I don't even know where this is
so
from,
I
but
will
it looks
tell
cool.
you that one is not on your list.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's not from me. That's from him.
Oh, this is not.
That's not on your list.
Yeah.
But I saw it.
Honestly,
and I was
I
like,
probably would have picked it for my list.
It's like a cool jet thing.
Yeah,
So-
and I actually kind of like that he's almost like monotone color because it's kind of different. And he has like a wing jetpack.
So
Oh,
are these
no,
like the,
that's not actually what it is.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah, again, I had to reuse boxes.
fair enough.
But
enough.
Hey,
I mean, you probably would like
you're-
I
those.
was
You're
gonna
being-
say,
I've been-
are these the switches
Yeah,
that you got that
yeah.
you installed?
I haven't installed these yet,
'Cause
actually.
well, I was gonna say, how are you liking them so far?
The other ones are fine. These are like non-dimming, but the other ones are not
Oh,
man.
you got me
dimming.
this light
Yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Shuhei Yoshida posted that last night,
Yeah.
and it's the exact same model. So I'm
Oh,
like,
nice.
Shuhei stole it.
Yep.
And if you want the rice, you can have the rice.
I was
really
like-
good rice.
He just tried to weight it down.
Yep,
Oh, okay.
that's it.
Sweet. So it is the PlayStation light
Yeah.
that I also will want to do the same thing.
More. This is the classic Galaga. Nice. Galaga's one of the few like classic Atari games that I played. Well, I guess it's not technically.
The shit.
Or the arcade.
Atari,
It's the
but,
poop.
Yeah.
yeah, I played a crap ton.
Mm-hmm.
I got like I think I almost got the high score at Up Down
Nice.
one of the times. That I was.
I'm usually horrible at it, but I almost always try it. So.
Okay, that just go ahead and open. It's just something. Found that it's fun. I came
Oh.
across it.
This is from Full Metal Panic.
Ah,
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't even realize that. I love Full Metal Panic.
There was one that I was gonna get you, but I lost it,
I love
and
it.
then I feel like it was not on your list anymore.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh crap, so I didn't get it.
Sure.
So then that's when I found that one. I was like, well, this isn't on his list, but it's pretty cool
It is.
looking.
Yeah, Full Metal Panic is another anime that's very
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
It's
I've
kind of
heard
been
of it.
mixed here and there. Like one
Is
of the
it from the
seasons-
Full Metal Alchemist?
No.
No, okay.
Don't
No
totally get it.
relation.
In fact, there's like one whole season.
Just so we're clear, I don't watch anime that
Yeah.
much, so
You
don't get mad at
watched
me.
a couple that
You have.
though.
There's like a whole couple seasons that's just all comedy, but it's actually pretty fun.
Obviously, you have great taste.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do.
Nope.
Okay. Okay, Logan.
Front just folds.
Logan, be smarter than the box.
Front
You
just
can
folds
do
up. It's like this one. Just pull it out.
Oh, what the? It's like glued.
Is
Did you
it?
glue it, you son of a bitch? That's why.
I didn't go that far.
I was telling Sean I was curious, like how on it would get.
he
in,
did
like,
that
4
today.
hours.
It's,
Yeah.
it's on. Is it super glued?
No, it's just a glue stick. But
Wow, it's on there.
come on, you're not allowed to cut that because it might screw up the.
There we
thing.
go.
There you go.
Oh, hold on. Yeah.
It is a PlayStation. It's stickers for something.
It's
That's
a PlayStation.
What is
the.
it?
It is the flaming toast.
Huh?
Oh, they're stickers for I think a PS4 controller.
No.
No.
They sell that
On the
That
back.
Flaming Toast sells a variety of stuff.
Okay, so this. Oh, here we go. Custom nameplate skin, and then
You put it.
okay, yeah, you're
under-
gonna have to
You put it. You take off the side panel of your PS5,
right.
and they have a thing you can underlay that for the little PlayStation. So this will give it the classic like PlayStation
Oh, nice.
on your console.
On the PS4.
And then
Or
you-
I did the orange, so it was like your car. I went ahead and got one too in red because I was like, that's kind of fun. And they just include like I wanted to get you the classic one, but they don't sell just the classic one. They sell the colors, and you just get the classic one. With that. So I'm like, you can pick. I think they're pretty easy to take off and put on.
Like
but
this looks like the top of a phone, and that's why I was
that
like,
does look like the top. Oh, that's an extra bonus
Oh, interesting.
for your phone if you wanted to use it.
If it works on
They
your phone.
cost a bunch of.
oh, okay, so
Free.
this was the main thing.
That's the main
That's
thing.
why I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
what?
Yeah,
How
yeah.
does this
No,
go
no,
on?
No, that goes under the inlay to
Okay.
make the logo on your console look like the classic.
Okay, sweet.
It was just a little thing. I came across it in the PS5 subreddit, but I thought you would get a kick
Yeah.
out of it.
This is
So,
not
and
going
you
to
were
work
like,
on my
I
phone.
like the classic colors of the logo. I'm like, well,
Well, there's
Open
a
this other
surprise
thing.
for you.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't realize at first, but this is the main robot from that series.
oh, nice.
Cool.
Very
Well,
cool.
I only got it because it looked
You
neat.
picked
Yeah.
really well. Nice.
And yeah, I'll have to bring up your Blu-ray. It says Tuesday
Oh,
of this week.
yeah. So that's the one that's still shipping from the UK, and it's saying like the middle of next month.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we'll see.
I almost got that for you.
Yep.
But then I was like,
There-
I think you mentioned like you were
Yeah.
thinking about it, so I'm like, okay, I'll let Sean do that.
There's a smaller one and a bigger one, but that's the bigger one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the smaller one was like all of them laid out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had both of them on there.
Mhm.
So you're gonna try to wire this one
Yeah.
to be the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
So is that why there's two of
Yeah.
everything
Yes.
except
Yeah.
for this?
That's
Yeah.
actually two. They're just stuck together.
Oh, you
still.
got to break them.
Yeah. So in theory, that should be all I need. I might get your help just to make sure
Sure.
the math is right. But yeah, so that one I know also does like a sound blinking mode if you want. So I got to see how that's wired up. But
Yeah.
in theory, again, I should be
Oh
able to
no,
just,
I would just want it solid.
yeah.
Yeah.
In theory, I can just put those in the power line or something. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm. See, now you got to think about how am I gonna set these up, man.
And I want to set those up so I can reprogram it. So like it needs to be able to get to your Wi-Fi, and like I want to maybe be able to make it so you can change the name. I found a library that does the Alexa thing, so we can turn it on and off. That should all work. But yeah, just gotta put it all together and finish the code.
Sweet.
Yep.
All of these
Fun
things I
side
have no
project.
idea how to do.
Yeah.
But that's what these guys
Yeah,
are
yeah.
good for.
That's part of the present.
Well, thank you all for your gifts.
Yeah. Thank you, guys.
So this one is for the group.
Is this related to our next topic?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to tentatively switch over to
Something.
the mystery. Logan has the team do something.
Yep.
We're
So
gonna find
I
out
will
what
let.
this is. I'll let Sean.
Sure. Yeah, I'll let Sean.
Oh, you're gonna let me do it?
Well,
Huh?
you got a piece of paper for me. I feel kind of bad.
No. He got one for
I got
me.
a
But he's gifting this to the group. So
Mm-hmm.
he can. He's not allowed. It's a puppy. No, that was the other day.
Oh, backwards.
Ooh,
Video game trivia.
Video game trivia.
The ultimate question mark.
Do you have enough lives to beat this quiz?
Questions 300, ages 12 plus.
Ooh.
Yep. So I bought this. I did already open it just so that it was ready to go.
So we're gonna do a couple rounds of some trivia.
Yep.
Show
Yeah,
how
he opened it and totally didn't read all the way.
Right. Yeah, I know this.
Who wants
one,
to
you
be on my
guys.
team? No. So I suppose there's really no need. There's no reason to shuffle them.
No, maybe not.
We have no idea what's on them. But this is, the ultimate. I kind of just really like the box that it's
Yeah,
in.
pretty
It's like
neat.
a cool little
Cartridge of the Game
like
Boy.
Nintendo or Game Boy cartridge.
Nice.
But so the activity is that we're just going to take a few of these cards and we're going to ask each other them, and we're going to see if we get them right. And if we do, well, you don't get anything. And if we're wrong, well, we don't lose anything. So.
Which
Yep.
game in the Gex series was the first to be a 3D title? Do you remember Gex?
I do. I never
It was
played it a lot.
I know it was on N64.
Sure.
Gex.
That's
It's not
the start.
right. It's not like Man of Mystery or
No.
Into the something.
The funny thing is, of the Gex games, this is the only title I remember.
This is the only. I mean, I had it.
I know.
I had it on
I'll recognize it
N64.
when you
Yeah.
say it, but I don't remember.
Gex.
Enter the Gecko.
Enter the Gecko.
Yep.
Yeah, because I remember that the game art was like him in a James Bond
Yeah.
suit with like a
Yeah.
TV remote.
Yeah, yep.
Shooting it like a laser.
I knew there was
And-
other ones, but that's the title I only
But
know.
that was the only Gex game I ever owned on ever
Yeah,
on period.
yeah.
But I had on N64, and I remember it was really fun because you went to like different movies. So there was like a Titanic themed level and a James Bond themed level, and it was kind of the humor was kind of funny, like Conker's Bad Fur Day, except not as
raunchy. Or,
I only saw it in magazines and stuff, but it looked fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so I will go ahead and admit, when I opened these, I was like, all right, let me just look
What
at a
kind
few of them.
questions? Yeah.
A lot of them I did not know.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't feel like I'm going to do very good. In the Animal Crossing series, which greedy character upgrades your home? Yep.
I haven't even really played them that much.
You can just say which was the greedy character, and I think it would have been.
Yeah. So which one of these should I? Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, Tom Nook.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like as soon as you were like halfway in that question,
Yep.
I'm like, oh.
Which Animal Crossing is Tom Hook?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yep. Okay. Both of these aren't too bad.
Yeah.
But I'll give you guys this one, I guess. Now developed by Red Lynx, which motorcycle platformer series began as a popular free internet browser game in 2000?
What was the first part?
Is it?
Now developed by Red Lynx,
Red Links.
which motorcycle platformer series began as a popular free internet browser game? in
Oh,
2000?
probably Trials.
It is Trials.
Yeah,
All right. I was
that's
like,
what I
is
would
it
have said.
Trials.
I'm like, Logan should know this one.
Trials. Is it
Trials.
Trials?
Some of these are almost too easy. Like one of them was asking what color the display in the Virtual Boy was. It's like he has one, so I'm gonna skip some of these.
Oh, come on. You're not giving me a moment to shine.
Let's see.
All right, Sean,
Okay.
your turn.
This is an interesting one. After its original release in Japan, what was the name? By what name was the Sega Mark III known worldwide?
The Mark III.
Mm-hmm.
What year did it say?
Nope.
Oh, it just said originally released.
Was it Sega CD?
Nope.
No, I think that's probably the Master System. Right?
No.
Well, they called it different things in different regions.
Yeah.
Some of them.
This was the Japan name. Was Sega Mark III, I guess.
Yeah. So they're asking what was the US name?
Mm-hmm.
Sega
Or
Genesis?
known worldwide.
Sega Genesis?
Nope.
No.
Sega Saturn?
Nope.
Damn it! All right, I give up.
You actually had it,
It's
but
not the Master
you had it
System?
different. It is the Master System.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you said it's not the Master System.
No,
I said it.
Oh, okay.
I said it wasn't
Oh,
the
okay.
Master's. The
Yeah, yeah.
Sega CD
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
was
yeah.
not the
So
Master.
it was the
But
Master System.
yeah.
I didn't know it was called the
Yeah,
Mark
yeah.
III.
It's called Master System. I need to get one of those at some point.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of it wasn't as big here, but it was huge in Europe and
Yeah.
Japan. But it's essentially the Nintendo era version of the Sega before the Genesis made it hot.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some good series on there.
I had the Sega CDX.
Aw.
I don't.
You're next.
I don't. So I actually tried one of these things.
Mm-hmm.
I have a feeling you guys will not get it because I sure as hell would not get it. Fizco releases which toxic energy drink in the 2014 game Sunset Overdrive?
Oh, see, I haven't played that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if it was featured in the trailers, but I don't know.
It is called Overcharged Delirium
Yeah.
XT.
Overcharged Center, right? I wouldn't know the full name.
Okay, fine. How about this one? From the other video game franchise, from which other video game franchise are the Raving Rabbids original a spinoff? Original.
Rayman.
Yep.
Yeah.
They kind of outgrew Rayman.
All right, this one's pretty easy. Which console was the first to allow?
Jackal. It's a
Online-
Jackal.
Goddamn, look at which console was the first to allow for online gaming by a broadband connection using its integrated Ethernet?
Xbox.
Yep.
Integrated, then yeah. I was trying to think of
let's see if you can get this one.
Mhm.
This should be which unreleased video game project by Cloud Imperium Gaming raised $200 million in crowdfunding on November 2018? Star Citizen. The only thing is that card eventually will
be
defunct.
eventually wrong. Yeah, there was some funny ones which was the peripheral that you are to
It
control.
still seems like we're having issues with your. It's like I'm only hearing Shane through other mics, and it's not his own.
Talk, Shane?
It's weird because at least here when I'm talking, I see the levels look on par with when you guys are talking. So
It
I'm
looks
not sure.
slower, but I can't tell by how much.
It looks about the same to me.
Weird.
If
We'll
one of us is talking.
Try to check it later. It's going to be hard to...
Yeah, I'll just try to keep speaking up.
Yeah. For which console was Cooking Mama released?
The original one, I think, was Nintendo DS.
Correct.
Yeah.
Bandage Girl is the girlfriend of which video game character?
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah, shoot.
Bandage Girl.
What platform would we attribute to that?
This game, it is an indie game.
Can you use it in the form of a sentence?
Yeah.
It is an indie game, and I'm assuming it was first on PC.
Is it not? No.
So
Thinking Super Meat Boy or one of those.
yeah, that is correct.
Okay,
It is
yeah.
It is Meat Boy.
Because I barely know that because I've seen like their names referenced somewhere.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I was trying to think of the Binding of Isaac or whatever, but yeah.
Well, I can either give you guys a really easy one or a really hard one.
Give us the easy one and then the hard one.
For which console did Namco release the original GunCon peripheral, bundled with copies of Time Crisis?
PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
1 or 2?
One.
Yeah,
Okay.
one.
And then the harder one. What is the name of the green creature that the player must feed on the popular mobile game Cut the Rope?
Oh,
Oh, I don't know that
yeah, I
dude's
don't know
Yeah.
his name. I've heard it referenced before, but
The answer is Om Nom.
Nom figures.
Yeah.
But yeah, like some of these are almost too easy.
I'm glad that they keep saying that these are too easy, and the ones I picked, I'm like, no, I wouldn't
Here,
know that.
Logan,
Yeah.
just for you. In 2009 game Infamous, what does the explosion give Cole McGrath the ability to control?
Electricity?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Too easy.
But I played Infamous.
Yeah,
He hasn't.
Not really, no.
I know it well
Not
enough.
for lack
Since
of
his
fun.
first appearance in the 1992 game Kirby's Dream Land, who has been Kirby's archenemy?
King DDD.
Yep.
Dee-dee.
You guys would know this one because I wouldn't, because I've never played any of the games.
Sure.
In BioShock Infinite,
Yeah.
which character has made his fortune by selling plagiarized songs of the 20th century obtained through tears in dimensional space and time?
Tears.
Tears, wow.
I forget his full name,
Yeah.
but it's Comstock, I believe. Or well, that's the main bad guy.
Yeah, I actually haven't played much of them.
I beat Infinite.
Yeah.
That's the only one of those in that series.
Their name is Albert Fink.
Fink. Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah. There's bits of that story I'm forgetting.
Ellen might have gotten that
Uh-huh.
one, maybe.
Okay. In advertising, which console has been described as being for the players?
PlayStation.
Okay. Repeat that one more time.
In advertising, which console has been described as being for the players?
It's either PlayStation or Xbox. I can't remember. That's all blending together now.
Is it one of those two?
You gotta give a specific answer.
I'm gonna say
Console.
I'm
A
gonna
specific console.
say 360.
No.
Okay.
It's PS4.
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 Yeah. That
Come
was their
on.
whole ads were like, yeah,
Yeah.
for the players, and it had all the characters saying
but they
that.
changed.
They did change that a
But
couple
that
times.
was one of their marketing things.
A lawsuit was filed by Sega against 2003 game Simpsons Road Rage for its perceived similarities to which other driving game?
Remember hearing about that, but I'm trying to remember what it was.
Sega 2003.
No, that's PlayStation.
A Sega
Basil says
series?
Twisted Metal,
No.
and that's
Yeah.
PlayStation.
And that wasn't that
2003.
I mean, I know,
Sega?
I know Sega's main driving series is Outrun,
Nope.
but I wouldn't imagine that.
No,
think,
wouldn't
think
it-
of Simpsons Road Rage and
Oh,
what
Road
that's
Rash.
Road Rage.
Road Rash.
Road Rage
Huh.
is the Simpsons game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying, is it Road Rash?
No,
because that was another
clearly
series
Rage, which I think must have been the earlier one.
So it's basically a.
I guess you'd have to remember what that Simpsons game was too.
I remember seeing it, but I don't.
Oh, it's a
remember.
Simpsons game.
Well,
It's a Simpsons game
that got sued by
got sued
Sega.
by Sega for its similarities to one of their games. That's why I was saying Road Rash.
Oh,
Road Rash
well,
is-
so okay.
But I don't.
I'm
remember
pretty
that.
sure there was a Simpsons game that was pretty much like Crazy Taxi.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
Crazy
Yeah,
Taxi.
and that was a yes.
Yep.
Okay.
oh my god, I got it.
The setting of which game is Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp?
That is Psychonauts.
Yep. Yeah, well, it's like, what are the Switch controllers called?
Yep.
Like,
They at least have some news
Oh,
question,
yeah.
I think.
I don't know if you guys would know this because I wouldn't have. I probably would just guess and still get it wrong. In the Lego games by developer Traveler's Tales,
Mhm.
what are the round currency bricks called?
oh shoot.
I haven't played them.
Hold on. No. I should know this. The round currency ring.
Gold nubs.
No, they have a clever name.
Yeah.
No, they don't at all.
don't?
In fact, you're close with nubs.
No.
It rhymes with nubs.
Stubs.
Sorry, it's close. It's studs. It's
Studs.
Lego studs.
You know what I'm thinking of is the fucking is it Tony Hawk or whatever that had Stokins as
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was the one.
And that's
Those are
that's
like-
clever to you?
I mean, it's the thing.
They're
It's fun.
totally stoking.
Yeah. This one should be pretty easy. In what year did the Nintendo Wii launch?
2006.
Yep.
Yeah. Good.
I know because I got it at launch and I
I'm bad
followed
with
that
dates.
like insane.
Tyler had a Wii.
I got one
So
unreleased,
I never
but then I
got,
sold it.
and yeah, I never got a Wii because I played Tyler's and then we lived together and I would play yours.
Yeah.
And then I got a Wii U.
I
But
probably
that,
should've
even
just
that was
kept
still
mine.
later.
Yeah.
Who is the creator of the Civilization series?
Sid Meier's.
Yep.
His name's on the box. Which console released worldwide was the first to include built-in modem for gaming?
Built-in modem.
Yeah.
My guess might be Dreamcast.
That
But
is the Sega Dreamcast.
yeah,
Yep.
because I know it comes with a modem by default. I
Yes.
just couldn't remember if anybody else had one standard.
No, it was usually an accessory.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
PS2
had the
a network
external
The hard
line,
drive
but it
thing.
was technically, which I have that on
Yeah.
mine,
that's
but it
external.
was it. So
It plugs into
right. That's the thing.
older
is,
model.
Like, there's part of it that's sort of like part of the base model.
because the hard drive would go inside and the
Yeah.
outside would be the network.
Right, but it was still an external one. It wasn't integrated into
Right.
it like.
It had a huge hole where you stuck
But
it
that
in.
still wouldn't
That
say
was
that
for
that's
the drive.
integrated.
Yeah, that was
Well,
just for
oh no, yeah, it was always an accessory.
Like
Yeah.
the PS2 Slim, I think had it
Yes.
Yes.
integrated.
Yeah.
Yes, because that's the one I had originally for most of the time. So
Yeah, and even like was it Super Nintendo had one, and the one of the other earlier consoles had like a
oh yeah,
dial-up
Genesis had
one.
The Super
Genesis.
Nintendo one was interesting with the satellite service.
Yeah,
where
yeah.
you would have like game events that would be like streamed in over the weekend.
Yeah, it
where
would be
was,
like downloaded.
custom versions of like Zelda and stuff that you would just never get elsewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was the first Nintendo console to have HD support? Wii U. It was like bare minimum HD, but
Like 720?
probably.
No, it was 1080.
I guess it
Wasn't
might have.
17? Isn't 720 HD?
That's
Technically,
the minimum
yeah.
for like HD, but they
And
supported
and
it.
the Wii wasn't
No.
720.
Nope. I remember for years, just like we're talking about a Switch Pro now, for
Mhm.
years there was talk about, oh, we're gonna get a Wii HD, and it took them so long to get to a point where the Wii was finally a thing. But
With more than 80 million copies sold, what was the best-selling game on the Nintendo Wii?
Oh, Wii Sports.
Didn't it come with it?
yeah, it did.
Basically,
So, like,
Yeah.
I hate to include that as. That's like saying, yeah, like Super Mario Brothers on NES sold a lot. It's like,
Right.
yeah, it was also included with most
Yeah.
consoles.
With more than 80 million copies sold.
Yep.
In the original Gears of War
Mhm.
for the Xbox 360,
Mhm.
how many kills in ranked versus multiplayer matches were required to earn the seriously?
Oh, yeah,
Achievement.
yeah. It was like 1,000,000. It was like some insane number.
Yeah, I don't know.
It is 10,000.
10,000.
Okay.
Yeah, it was some insane number.
I
At the
would
time.
assume 10,000
Yeah.
kills is still
A lot.
a lot.
I remember just the I was not gonna get it, and then you said the seriously achievement. I forgot about that one. In Conker's Bad Fur Day, what was Conker's girlfriend named?
I should know this too.
Does it rhyme with Conquer?
It starts with
No.
a B.
It does start with a B.
Yeah.
Betty?
No.
No.
Boop boop?
Beep
Wow.
bop.
I actually don't want to answer because I just want to keep hearing what Logan guesses on this one.
Boogity boogity boo.
Bobbity
Uh,
boogity.
yeah, just what is it?
Berry.
Barry?
BRRI.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say I remember it was like you could see it
It's a
almost
horrible
be a
name.
porn star name type thing.
Of
like
course.
that was the angle they
Sure.
were working with that. But yeah.
Was another one.
She should have been named Classy.
Which company produced the Telstar series of consoles in the late 70s?
That would be a Shane question.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't know.
like
Tell you star?
no Telstar.
Telstar. That's a good question. And
This might be an obscure one for
well, I mean, back in that time frame, I know
Back in that day.
you had Magnavox with the Odyssey. You had Intellivision. I have heard of these systems, but I don't remember.
you. It's one of the more rare ones.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
remember.
the Coleco.
It was a Coleco.
Coleco.
Okay. Because ColecoVision was
Yep.
the more known one.
Yep.
So I actually technically have some Coleco games, which you can play on a 2600 because it's basically the same.
I'm
structure.
curious if you guys would get this, because again, I would not.
Sure.
Who is the voice of Duke Nukem?
Oh,
I always forget his name.
Yeah, shit.
That I know of. That's all I know him for.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's two names that are the same. They're just spelled differently.
Bob Boberson.
John St. John.
John
Oh,
St.
yeah.
Which character, I don't think you guys would get this. Which character gives the player tutorials in Candy Crush Saga?
Oh God, no, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was going to laugh if Shane's like, oh yeah, it's this. And I would have been like,
What?
you
Now,
need to.
Allison would know that.
It
There we
is
go.
Mr. Toffee.
Yeah.
Mr. Tom.
Okay. Which this? I mean, this. You only get one guess though.
Okay.
You're wrong.
Uh-huh,
You're wrong. Which Sega console was the successor to the Mega Drive?
Which Sega console?
Was the successor to the Mega Drive?
Sega Genesis?
Master System?
Nope.
No.
Sega CD?
I always
It-
mix up the first
So
two.
the Mega Drive is the Genesis.
Oh, that's right.
The name that was used in Europe. So it's the Saturn.
Saturn. Okay.
And technically,
I was wondering
Master,
if
Master System preceded
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
So yeah.
I was gonna go Saturn or something like that,
Yep.
but
Yep. Speaking of,
yeah.
one of the other Sega consoles that I still need to get to play me some virtual Hide Live. We can stream that, and you guys can experience what it was like to play a 3D RPG before 3D was like a thing on a console.
Before they could reliably
Yeah,
pull off
I'll
3D.
bet you that might be, well, maybe not in here. This is a little more computer focused, but that'd be kind of funny.
Which console was sold using the advertising slogan "Jump in"?
That's a PlayStation 1.
Is it?
I'm not a PlayStation 1, but no.
Is that GameCube?
No.
No.
It's X360.
360.
Okay.
Good job.
God, I'm
I
like,
had the air of
It's just old enough that I don't remember.
GameCube was just no words.
Yeah.
Just the cube was sucking in people in the commercials.
Or
Like,
was it the Wii was like, we would like to play or whatever at
Yeah.
the beginning? Yeah.
that would always just be the two random people showing up
Yeah.
at the house
Yeah.
being like,
And
hey.
bowing.
And they're like, then you're like, what the hell? I'm fairly
Play
certain
with
that
our
this is
Wii.
for an iPhone.
Oh, maybe.
probably.
With the cutout.
Like I
Because
said, they were just packing. They included like decals and stuff
Oh,
too. Yeah.
yeah.
So there's the original highlight.
Oh,
in
yeah.
Is this a
1984
I think
for
this is a
Master
tattoo.
System.
It is a tattoo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you go.
A flaming
Logan.
toaster.
That's the store. They have.
No, I
You
know.
might want to check them out because they have some other neat customizations.
What? I think I know Ellen at least I hope Ellen would get this. You guys might too.
Mhm.
By what name is the serial killer known in Heavy Rain?
The Origami Killer.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And I haven't even barely played it, and I know that.
And I'm pretty sure the kid's
the
name is
thing
Sean.
is,
And he just yells Sean a bunch.
the ending got spoiled for me in
Oh.
that, and I kind of suspected what it
Yeah,
was gonna be.
I kind of know what it is.
But like, it got spoiled pretty quickly, and I was like, "Damn it! Now I feel like it's not worth me taking the time to play it, but I need to."
There's still
sometime.
multiple endings
yeah.
and stuff.
Developed by
Tall Tales?
Telltales.
Telltale.
Developed by Telltale Games.
Mhm.
Which game is based on a comic book series by Bill Willingham?
Walking Dead.
Nope.
Oh, then they Among Us or not?
No.
What's the other one?
Werewolves.
The one with the werewolves.
Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah.
No.
They did multiple comic-based games. I just assumed that was that one.
It's The Wolf Among Us.
The Wolf Among Us.
Yeah,
That's it.
what
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
called.
That's supposed to be a good series.
Okay.
You got Among Us, so
yeah.
I mean, that's a game now. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, here you go. What was the code name for the Kinect during its development?
I did hear that.
You know what's funny is when
You're
I
gonna
opened.
know it when you hear it.
I know,
Yeah.
and it's funny because when I opened this,
Yeah.
I was just having Ellen guess someone,
Yeah.
and I pulled that one.
Yeah.
Oh, now I remember what it is. No, I don't remember. That's not. Natal.
Yep.
Natal.
Project Natal.
That's-
I was gonna say Natick.
Yep.
This is just a number one because I don't know if any of us have played this. In 1995, full motion video game Phantasmagoria was released with how many discs for PC?
I don't
Isn't
know.
that the
No,
game?
No.
not
It's
Phasmophobia.
that's what I kind of like say it's called every time.
Oh.
Yeah. Phantasmagoria is another one.
Yeah, just think of one of those
I know
early
of it, but
CD games where you had to like put in a bunch of discs.
I'm gonna guess like 6 to 8.
What was the question? Just how many?
How many
discs?
CDs? Yeah.
Well, and this was the one that used the first.
What year?
95.
Oh, maybe more like 4 or 5.
So, Diablo, when that came out, I think that was 98 or 99.
Yeah. This
That had 4.
this was a game that had a lot more video.
Yeah.
So I'll give you that. It's not
So I'm gonna say 3.
No.
It's
much
more.
higher.
6.
His-
5.
How many?
His first guess was right in between. It
Yeah,
was
yeah.
7.
Yeah. 'Cause
Yeah.
I was thinking like back in that time frame, you had
7.
like-
She said 7. I have a
Yeah.
feeling she looked that up.
Well, like
Good
back my thinking was like, okay, Riven was like 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And it's probably more than that. That was kind of my thought.
I still have was it Unreal Tournament 2003 and there's like 8 DVDs or whatever.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's nuts.
What is the name of the main antagonist and final boss of Altered Beast?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, you might know that.
Shoot. Yeah, this is another one. I'll know it when I hear it, but I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
Well, then
Shoot.
I know
It's
about
like on
that
the
game.
tip
Well,
of
my
tongue,
hat's off to you
too.
because I did not know that. So
What is it?
Neff.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of something else then.
What victory message is given to the player, duo, or squad that wins a round of Player Unknown's Battleground?
Oh.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten it twice.
Chickenless. All right.
I had got it once on like the mobile version, but that was because nobody knew what the heck they were doing, so it was super easy.
Mm-hmm.
Pathos 2 is
Oh.
the underwater setting of which survival horror game?
Underwater.
Not many of those.
Underwater survival.
Soma.
Soma.
Yeah.
I was thinking it
Yep,
might be
yep,
Soma because I
yep,
watched a playthrough of
yep.
that, but I never heard what it was
Yeah.
called.
I need to play that one of these days.
Yeah.
It's
That
supposed
is
to be really
correct.
good.
Soma.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's supposed to be good.
I'm curious how far back the Twitch stream is to where we are.
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it seems to be about in.
There's usually a standard delay, and it depends on the platform sometimes.
Arc System Works developed which 2018 fighting game based on the Dragon Ball franchise? Yeah.
Fighters.
What, with a name inspired by those of two famous science fiction writers, who is the protagonist in the Dead Space series?
Oh, yeah.
Hmm.
It's like Isaac.
Or I'm just thinking of other good.
I just remember his first name's Isaac.
That is correct.
Yeah.
The first name is Isaac.
Because I've heard him.
What other sci-fi? I
mentioned.
mean, there's so many
Yeah.
popular.
And Isaac Asimov would be a perfect fit for
Right.
that.
What is it?
What's his name that did Cthulhu?
No.
No.
Not Hemingway.
Lovecraft?
No.
I-
That would have been two on the nose,
Yeah.
probably.
Clark.
Isaac Clarke. Sure.
Isaac Hayes.
Isaac.
Yeah.
Which American toy manufacturer released in television in 1997?
Mattel?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm going for the obscure ones. Yep.
I know one of these guys you would get. I would know the reference, but I wouldn't know the name of the game.
Sure.
I'd probably think it was a different game. In which game did Pyramid Head make his debut? Yep. I would have probably thought like Resident Evil.
Oh, yeah. No. It would be interesting to see him in Resident Evil's world.
I think you.
Mm-hmm.
What code name did Nintendo use for the GameCube before the true console's name was revealed in August 2000? The internal code name.
Was that Dolphin?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was Dolphin.
Yeah.
And which actor plays the antagonist Paul Serene in the 2016 video game Quantum Break?
Oh.
What was the actor that played him?
So I don't know his name. Isn't he I know he plays as the ice dude in X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know.
Aidan Gillen.
Oh, okay. So this one's just a fun, like, I'm surprised this ever happened the way it did. Usually.
Nope, I lied. That is not the.
Oh, that's not Iceman.
No, but that guy was in that game.
Yeah. Oh, okay, but it
was
wasn't.
he did you say was
The
he?
antagonist.
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I don't know who that was. Which usually blue face button symbol is shared on PlayStation, Xbox, and most Nintendo controllers in different location on each.
Yeah.
I just love that fact.
In which 2018 video game by Lucas Pope does the player attempt to uncover the various fates of a ghost ship's crew?
That's
Obra Dinn.
Oberdin.
Yep.
Yeah. It's supposed to be really cool.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's the almost not
Return
game
of the
type game.
Obra Dinn.
Return of the
Okay.
Obra Dinn. Yeah.
So, this one will be maybe a little easy, and probably you guys won't know the other. First released in 2013, which side-scrolling video game was removed from the App Store in 2014 by its creator, citing concerns over its supposedly addictive nature?
So I pulled that one out randomly
Yeah,
to
so you know
ask
what
it. Yes, I know what it is, so I won't say it.
The creator's name was Dong Nguyen.
Yeah.
That's a hint.
So Ellen didn't know this, but
That one knows.
I gave her a hint.
Yeah.
So I'll give you the same hint.
Sure.
It's the one that has a bajillion clones.
Oh, yeah. Flappy Bird.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I knew it sounded super familiar.
Yep. Okay, so this one's good. Which three letters were used for the face buttons on the original Sega Mega Drive controller?
I obviously know that too because I asked you the same question.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Was it ABC or
Yep.
XYZ?
It's ABC.
It's ABC.
Yep. Because I remember the next one added XYZ.
Yep.
Since you've been doing Game Boy stuff recently, what year was Game Boy Color released?
Color.
I'm gonna say 97.
Very close.
It's 96.
Nope.
98.
98.
Yeah.
Good guess. I wouldn't have.
I'm only because I'm
The thing
trying.
is, I keep thinking it hit earlier than it did,
Ah.
but it did come out later.
Well, yeah, it was the color.
I was trying to
Yeah.
just figure because I'm like, okay, how old
'Cause
did I have
The
it?
original
Yeah.
Game Boy was 89.
I think the
Oh, yeah,
first
yeah.
color
Double
game
like-
I owned was gold.
Yeah, probably.
Was
That's
Pokemon
like
Gold?
compatible.
Right. All right. I feel like this one's easy. I don't even need to finish the question, and you'll know the answer.
Mm-hmm.
Released in 2007, which Crytek-developed PC game was famous for its high system requirements and was often referenced as a benchmark test for computer hardware? I'll give you guys the quote. Yeah, but does it run blank?
Crisis.
Yep, Crisis.
Maximum speed.
In Fallout 3, in which settlement does the Lone Wanderer have the option of detonating an unexploded nuclear bomb?
What's the name of that town? I know exactly what that thing is. Yeah, I'm not gonna remember it.
It is Megaton.
Megaton. Yep. Because it's named after the bomb.
Okay. Which video game developer created the 2014 survival horror game Alien Isolation?
Oh yeah, I'm blanking out on.
Didn't you like that game?
It is very good. I
Yeah.
need to play more of it, but it's really good.
Ellen should play it too.
Yes, it is really good. Creative Assembly.
Creative Assembly.
Yep. And let's see if you guys have been paying attention today.
Uh-oh.
Released in 1972 and developed by Magnavox. What was the name of the first home video console?
The Coleco?
No.
Vision?
I said it earlier more than once.
In television?
No, but
Odyssey.
The Magnavox
Odyssey. Yeah, sorry. I got all of them stuck in my head. So this one actually is one good one for both of you. Like one's for one. So I guess this one's for you. The name of the fantasy world in which Diablo is set. The name of the actual world for Diablo. You're such a big fan of the series.
That's another one.
When you know
it when I
when you
it,
hear it, you'll be like, oh, it's so obvious. Sanctuary. I always forgot it was called that.
Yeah, no, I don't think I would have known that.
And then
I know the first town was Tristram.
Yeah, Tristram. Which console was first advertised as 64-bit, even though in fact it had two 32-bit processors.
The Atari Jaguar?
Yep.
Yep.
So funny. You just add them together, right?
See,
Oh, yeah.
I obviously need Ellen here because she's like, I got it at Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Sorry, I guess I need
don't know
my
if
better half here to help
They
me.
reference it a couple times, but they don't say it that often. So.
Yeah.
In which video game must the player use cooking and cooperation skills? Yep. Both of which we do not do when we play.
That is a game that we should stream.
Overcooked?
Oh
man.
I have Overcooked 2.
Yeah, I
on
do.
Switch.
I have it on
got
PC.
specifically so we could play it sometime together.
They've added a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, we'll have to do.
Oh, we could get Swedish Chef.
Yeah, we'll get Swedish Chef, which we'll get to the Game Awards here in a little bit.
Yep.
What is the full name of Agent 47's handler in the Hitman series?
So I don't know this because I haven't played
I haven't
enough
played
of them, but I am looking forward to playing Hitman 3 when it comes out.
Yeah.
And
I look forward to the third one.
Yeah. What is it though?
Diana Burnwood.
Yeah, I
okay.
wouldn't have known that.
I don't think you guys will know this one, but I'm just curious if you happen to. BT-7274 is the character in which video game? I don't think any of us have played this. I kind of want to because I like the first one.
That does kind of sound a little familiar. What system or what time frame did it come out?
I believe that was early Xbox One, PS4.
Okay.
I'll say it's a sequel to something. Well, again, I don't think we'll get it. Titanfall 2.
Oh, yeah.
It's the
I
robot,
haven't
the
played enough
AI.
of it.
Yeah.
Hey, can
I
I
didn't know.
steal your power cable?
Oh.
Sure, you can steal my power cable. Well, I think just in the interest of time,
sure.
we might want to move on to our last segment because it is kind of an open discussion.
Oh, sure.
We'll have to try out. I don't want to burn through
Yeah,
all
these
the
are
trivia
fun.
in one sitting.
This is the one kind of trivia I can do.
Yeah. The last segment for the stream today is our newly rebranded segment called About That, where we talk about some notable recent events in the gaming industry. This might tie a little bit into stuff we've been playing or other things like that. But I have 3 particular topics today for us to discuss.
Mm-hmm.
If I can pull up my topic list here. So, starting off with the new console releases. We got some brand new consoles.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exciting. A bit of
Yeah.
drama.
So about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
First of all, we all managed to secure at least one of the new consoles.
Yep.
We all kind of hopped on it early on. I think we managed
It was
to.
kind of luck.
Yeah, we
And
fought
persistence.
through the bots and stuff back when the initial pre-orders went up.
Yeah.
But yeah, Logan, what is sitting under your television?
So I currently have a PlayStation 5
Yay.
disc model. I also have a Xbox Series X, and then on a different TV, I have the Series S.
And you've been trying for
And
a
I've
digital.
been trying to get a digital PS5,
Yeah.
and for that other, right. So I've got a game room that goes upstairs, and that is for when my fiance wants to take the TV, and I don't want to watch whatever it is, or if we both want to play something, like right now we're both playing Call of Duty.
Yep.
She can play upstairs, I can play downstairs, or vice versa. But yeah, getting another one is a bitch. So I mean, I feel really bad for the people who don't have one, period, trying to get one.
Yeah, because
It's such a mess.
I did spend an entire work day attempting to get one.
Yep.
yeah,
And there
Well,
were 2 instances where I was really close.
And honestly, the only reason we got PS5s to begin with is, again, like Best Buy's site was just broken. And
Yeah.
I just kept trying, and Shane kind of was up, and we happened to secure enough for all of us.
yeah,
But yeah.
yeah. So I got the PS5 disc edition. I think I'll be getting a Series X sometime next year.
Yep.
I'm kind of getting ready in the next few months to hopefully be moving into a house. House for ownership. instead
Yeah,
of
yeah.
rent.
Duplex is not quite a house.
Yeah, yeah. So, maybe sometime after that point.
Mhm.
But yeah, and I've been having a blast with it. I think at this point I have most of the launch titles. Demon Souls has been a lot of fun. I need to get back to streaming it. It's just kind of tough because we've been pretty busy. But I've been having a lot of fun with that. I played a little bit of Spider-Man Remastered. More recently, we've been playing Call of Duty, Black Ops Cold War, Cyberpunk, which we'll talk more about later in this segment. Yeah, just a lot of fun stuff. You beat Bug Snacks, which you criticized me for thinking you were gonna enjoy, and you fucking tried it anyway, and now I haven't even started.
Yeah, not only did I beat it, but I
Yeah.
platinumed it, and then I also
Astrobot.
platinumed
Yep.
Astrobot.
Astrobot was a lot of fun. Yeah, I platinumed that too. After Logan, who also I think holds the speed records again. And I started to try beating him, and I was like, you know what? I got other things to do. But
I mean, there's one, like I said, it took me like 50 tries to finally, and like one of them I was 0.3 seconds behind you, and it was just every single time I'm just trying to get to it, and I can't, and then I finally did somehow, and I was just like,
It's
okay,
almost
I'm
luck at
done.
that point.
I can now. Everything is right in the world.
Yep.
yeah.
So yeah, I also have a PS5. I'll get the Xbox later. Just wasn't that much at launch, but yeah, I need to finish Astrobot. Been playing a decent amount of Demon Souls. I don't know how much more I'll play of that right now because I need to jump to other stuff. Like outside of that, we also got Cyberpunk, so we've been
Yep.
playing that a bit. And I have just a backlog of stuff. The new Assassin's Creed I picked up. So
So I know that like the big thing about why y'all didn't want an Xbox
The
over
big
the
thing.
PlayStation was because obviously Xbox had pretty much really they didn't have any exclusive launch titles.
that were like built for the system.
Well,
yeah.
and to be clear, it's not that I don't want one.
Right.
I just felt like
But
I
there
could
w-
wait.
but there wasn't a reason to get it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Not as
I'm
much.
I'm just saying that I think it was worth I think
For
it's worth
Cyberpunk.
well definitely for Cyberpunk.
Sure.
But even just the experience of all of the current games,
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
it's like the load
And-
times is much better.
The quick
Um,
switching.
Yeah, so even though there aren't any exclusive games, I still, to me, it was definitely
Sure.
worth
Oh yeah.
the
yeah.
upgrade.
And I think that's part of the problem too. Is like I have one physical game for series for Xbox One X or well one. It was before the X and the S. That has been my least played console, sadly. Mostly because I picked up some of those games on PC.
Right, and I
So-
mean, and I guess that's really like in your guys'
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is like with how Microsoft's doing games now. It's like
There's
if you
almost
have
less
it on,
incentive.
there's
but
really no incentive to get the
Yeah.
Series X because you're going to be able to play it on PC, and especially since you both have decent rigs and or are about to have decent
At
rigs.
the same time, they're
more decent.
yeah.
But for me, I'm mostly a console
Yeah,
gamer
yeah.
anyway, so.
Yeah,
I'll say
it's still a
there's
good
some
console.
games I just kind of prefer playing on that console.
Yeah.
Like experience.
Well,
you
and
know?
they bought all those studios, which
Yeah,
I'll
there's
buy
going to
games
be
for almost
so
all of
much-
them.
Heck, even the we'll need to see like timing wise, but like I gotta figure out what I'm gonna get the Mass Effect re-release
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
I mean, I have the original trilogy on Xbox.
I assume they probably will have a PC version, but their PC versions have usually been like
yeah,
months after.
yeah.
So
But so this is kind of a good segue.
Mhm.
I guess we'll skip ahead to Cyberpunk because
Yeah.
that's kind of the hotness right now. You mentioned it runs really good on Xbox. I agree. I think I honestly think Microsoft should have worked with CDPR to promote that as like a big launch thing more
yeah,
for the Series X. Not being exclusive, but just like it plays the best on that.
yeah,
Clearly, we now know, I think, a little bit of why maybe CDPR probably wasn't too big on like showing off the console versions. But yeah, we've all been playing Cyberpunk.
yeah.
I think, I guess, what are y'all's impressions on the controversy? We've talked about this.
Yeah. We've talked about it. I think overall it's still a good game. It has some definite problems, especially on lower end systems.
Yeah,
It honestly should never have been released on PS4 and Xbox One.
yeah.
But I think all of those things will eventually get fixed, just like they were for The Witcher and like a lot of the Bethesda games. To me, a lot of the Bethesda games were always started off way worse than this. Like those had like full on corruption saves and like characters always getting messed up. Like overall, I've seen very few problems on PC. Like I've had a handful of freezes. I saw a couple T-poses that I just ignored. There's like things getting. Oh, it's funny
Don't
too
look
because
at
it's
it.
like a
Don't
lower
look at
Y pose. Like I've seen like cell phones getting stuck in the air when they move away. But yeah, nothing too crazy. I've fallen through the world once, but that was my own fault because I opened a door next to a wall. But
I ultimately think they should have just postponed it again. I know it would have
they
pissed
should have.
a lot of people off.
And they kind
But-
of admitted they didn't do it again because they were worried about the response. But this
Right.
has been far worse.
Right, and I think that with how this is, it's kind of more like, yeah, I think we should have just postponed it.
I honestly
Because
think,
to me, I think you're losing. I think you've lost more people this way.
Yes.
yeah.
than
They've
before.
lost all the goodwill they've been building up.
The thing for me, I don't think they necessarily need to delay it as a whole. I think they should have delayed the previous gen version.
Or call it like a pre-release beta, whatever.
But see, the only
Yeah.
thing that why that would confuse me is these aren't even the enhanced versions
I know,
for.
yeah.
yeah.
So this is technically the
Right.
previous
So
gen.
so I agree, and I think the big flaw
Mhm.
with how this has been handled is even though the game was originally shown as like a, PS4 or Xbox One era title, I think they should have just made it clear that they're now focusing on the next generation and they plan to still release it, but they're going to have to do extra work to optimize it. I think they should have targeted PS5 and Xbox Series first, and PC and Stadia.
Well,
the Stadia version's really good.
Because honestly, everything they've always shown before was always PC.
Yeah,
so
and they're scaling down from that. And if they were really committed to, we still want to bring it to the PS4, because that's a huge chunk of market.
It's a massive.
I don't think they shouldn't, but it clearly needs more time to optimize it for that system.
And people need to realize it's just never going to look that good.
Yeah.
Like there's only so much you can do on that console.
It's unfortunate, but a game of that, scope and scale and detail, they've kind of outgrown the generation that they started working on.
Yep.
Which is not great. But again, I think with the right optimizations, they can get a decent experience. They just need more time for that. And I think, from my perspective, everybody I know, like in our group and other people I've seen on social who've been playing it on PS5 or Series S or Series X, maybe even the PS4 Pro, they've been having a fine time with it. Obviously PC and Stadia, which is technically running the PC version. But for everybody playing on like an Xbox One or a PS4, I understand their pain. It is just clearly not well optimized for that.
Basically unplayable.
So,
I mean, I find it so funny that it works. When I played it on my Series S, it performed better than on my One X. Which is technically, I think, a little better.
Yes and no.
Not really.
It's different technology per the teraflops. It's about the same, but there's tricks they can pull off on the new one, and the new one has a much better CPU, which makes a big difference.
Yeah, the Series S is actually a little more efficient in the way that it can do some of that.
And the streaming, so I think the main issue is streaming and textures and stuff.
Content is clearly a bottleneck.
Being developers yourselves and knowing more about the back end of game releases, how would you have personally handled the release and customer response?
I mean, first of all, this is a great question. I think they did something that's against one of our core policies, which one of our core values is that the game should be driving our business, not our business driving the game. So clearly, they made their decisions based on the business mindset for getting this out the door now. Some of their practices are inexcusable. Hiding the console releases and what they look like because they knew they were not good.
Not allowing people to show their own footage.
Microsoft and Sony skipping the certification just because it's CDPR and we trust they're going to have it good by day one. That should not have happened. That's a problem. So, to me, I mean, if I were in charge of that decision at CDPR, I think back when the original delay was done in April, I would have made the announcement that we're now finding that our vision for the game has grown beyond what we originally expected, and this is a next-gen experience. So the team is focusing now on bringing the game to the next generation of hardware, PC, Stadia, PS5, and the Xbox Series consoles, but we're still committed to finding a way to bring the experience to those of you that are on the previous gen. We're going to need more time to complete that vision for both platforms, and so we'll have more information on timeline down the road. And then I think when I would say sometime the pandemic makes it tricky this year.
Well, but they could have used that as an excuse,
right?
So
that's another weird thing. They could have used that as an excuse
because they mentioned in a later post that part of the reason it's so buggy is they couldn't test it with their normal testing third party.
And so I think they should have committed to we will have an update by this date, September. And then at that time, they should have either had a go, no go to we are comfortable to launch, and treating this as two product versions. The main version, which is new gen, and the current gen version, which is viewed as more, we got to optimize down for that. And I think they should have just been clear up front. We need another 6 months, another year to realize it. It would have sucked for people up front, but at the same time, if you're setting that expectation up front and you're being open
months ahead of time,
honest about why you're having to make that call, people will still support that better than this mess.
Well, and it's
So-
weird because their policy for years coming up
Yes.
to this game was it'll be ready when it's ready.
Right.
It
They-
clearly wasn't ready.
They let. So the only problem with that
Yeah.
is different people have different definitions of what ready is.
Yeah.
The business side wants to get that product out to collect.
Dirty
earnings on that,
delayed it past the
and they
holidays.
think it's good enough.
Yeah.
And you do have to be careful. This is kind of a challenge as like a director.
Yeah.
Because you also have to keep your vision for what that's going to be confined without just continuing to let it grow or evolve into something crazy. And that's where I think you see a lot of these projects that kind of enter development hell.
Yep. Like Final
come from-
Fantasy 15.
A lot of them have a hard.
became that.
A lot of them start to like allow their vision to change dramatically or grow in scope from what they wanted to do. And so I think to get a project realized in any entertainment medium, you have to have a clear vision, goal, and define that.
Yeah.
To stick to it. But yeah, it's, I think it's rough because I think this year is really where they started slipping in how they managed the release of this game. For me, though, kind of going back, at the end of the day, I think what's there if you have a PC or a next-gen system is a fairly complete game that it's a really good game.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that some people are having problems with it. A lot of the minor bugs I expect to be patched, but
I know some people have issues with like the story, the world, mechanics, but like it's
you're
never
have
going to
some
be
of that.
perfect.
Yeah, you're gonna have some of that.
I think
either
some of
way.
that got blown out of proportions, but
Yeah.
So a lot of developers are utilizing their fan base as the alpha and beta testers via early access.
Kind
Do you
of,
think Cyberpunk could have benefited from a similar program?
So
So the only thing with that, as far as
yeah.
I know with alpha and beta,
yeah,
aren't those typically multiplayer games?
not necessarily.
they-
There's single players like the new
Oh,
Yeah.
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate is technically beta.
they tend to be multiplayer more often.
Yeah.
Because isn't it to test the server load or something?
That's the
That's
excuse
part
they
of it.
use in some of those, like
Yeah.
COD. They're not really testing. If it's a week out and they're in beta, that's not beta. That is just testing their load. Like, but
But I think the key word in that question is utilize.
Yeah.
So the problem to me is when you're relying
Mm-hmm.
on that to do your QA for you. It's okay to have that supplemental to your own internal efforts,
Mhm.
but if you have too much reliance on the community finding problems, that's a problem.
And-
just like our shows, like to
Yeah.
me, it's been valuable to put the game in front of people to test it in a real world scenario and get their perspective on the feedback. But we also have to like balance that by doing our own internal testing, play testing, and also for certain things like sticking to the vision that we have. Thankfully for Konsui Fighter, I don't feel like we've really had a big clash between like the community really wanting something wildly different and us really gunning for a different kind of experience,
yeah,
I mean, there are some stylistic preferences
Yeah,
that are
that's
a little different, but you're
different.
going to get that in any
The-
genre.
the type of bugs they had were
Yeah.
obvious. They knew that they
Yeah.
were there. I think it's just
They
a
just
matter
didn't
of
have
like,
time.
they
Yeah.
thought they could fix
the
them
scope.
quickly. But
But yeah, I think that's a key thing.
and again, like the complexity and density of that world and open world in general is extremely hard to do for any company. And honestly, this is basically their fourth game. Like they've done some like card games and some other,
Mhm.
but like they only come out with a game like every 10 years or something, anyways.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised it had problems. It is disappointing, but I think they will fix it. Because that's the thing is, like I said, Witcher 3 had a lot of problems at first.
Yeah.
But after a long period of time, they added a lot of DLC, they added a lot of like free content, and they kind of made it up to their fan base and like build up all
Yeah.
this goodwill. So they're going to have to go through this again.
Yeah.
I think some management's going to get in trouble. I think
Yeah.
they need to plan their projects differently. But
Well, they need to have honestly a come to Jesus to
Yeah.
realize that, having the business influence is good,
yeah,
but at the end of the day, with a creative space like this, you have to be willing to make the proper investment in the product being solid.
Because you
especially in the game space, it's so easy to ruin that goodwill with a bad product or set a bad impression, and it is way harder to pull out from that.
Because you can kind of only go two directions with it. You can kind of make a mediocre to bad product, or you have to put in the effort, the time to make a better product. So they're kind of riding that edge right now.
So the last comment I'll make, because we got another big topic to get into, but to me, and kind of to your point earlier with like, you know, this isn't new for like big open world games having these problems. I do think it's kind of a little excessive to me that Sony outright pulled it off the store. Yeah. I think doing what Microsoft did and offering
extended.
Honestly, so first of all, offering a refund policy. I think that's partially on Sony that they didn't really have.
They had
outlined.
One, but it was passed. Like
they've been much more resistant to refunds, and like now that we're in an era where you're pushing for people to be exclusive through your digital store, you need to offer a refund legally. There's probably some.
In Europe, it's a big
So they need to have a formal policy, but also I think just doing what Microsoft did of like put a warning up there, put a confirmation thing, you know, and make it clear that you're offering refunds. I mean, it's within their right. Don't get me wrong; it's their store. It's within their right. But I feel like compared to other games that have had more,
there's way more buggy games.
I feel like this is a little bit of an overreaction to the situation.
Well, and we talked about this before too, but I think this needs to be a moment where they realize that like Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo's kind of already been doing this. They need to have like minimum bar of quality that they stick to.
And like I said, they do. Yeah. They have a certification process, but they specifically allow CDPR to bypass that for Cyberpunk.
Yeah, but you can't.
They trusted them to get it patched by day one. And we gotta, I think the big thing is we have to stop relying on day one patches. Yeah. We've moved out of this era where you can pop in a disc or pop in a cartridge and it's got to be a working, functional game. So many of these companies are just like, we'll press what we got on the disc and we'll patch it day one.
Yeah, we've got to meet the holiday season.
To me, this is a partial degradation of physical media as well, which, you know, I'm of the opinion, you know, I like collecting physical media for the big releases I care about and collecting like older retro stuff. But I think both have their place. Yeah. One side should not be degraded over the other just because the technology can move one way or the other. Yep. Like, so I agree. They should be enforcing that standard.
And it is one thing to have like a beta, but you can't just have a thing called a beta and never fix it. Like Fallout 76 was another case where they had a beta. None of that got fixed at release, and that game was way more broken than this one.
Yeah.
So, but they've gone and fixed that too, so it's just a matter of time.
So Ellen's saying, so it's more about Sony's refund policy that calls the removal, not the quality of the game. No,
it's a bit of both.
It's a bit of both.
They got a lot of feedback.
They got hammered because of the statement that CDPR made about, you know, reach out to the console holders or your retail store to try to get a refund. Well, a lot of people bought the game digitally on PSN, so they're reaching out to Sony, and Sony's like, they didn't discuss that with us, and we don't really do refunds, so like,
not past a certain point,
Well, they've been hammered about it so much that they're kind of getting back a little bit at CDPR for doing that without talking to them about it. You guys, I don't think we talked about this, but it was confirmed, like, CDPR did not.
They didn't know about it.
Microsoft or Sony before making those statements, telling people.
Well, and they didn't know about the Sony poll until after it happened.
So this is Sony kind of like punting back at CDPR. Like, if you're going to tell people to turn to us to get their money back, we're taking your game off the store until you fix this. So it's the whole thing is kind of honestly to me a mess of these guys are not enforcing their expectations. Yeah. They're not coordinating on messaging, and they're not...
Even internal to CDPR's own communication has been a mixed bag. Yeah. Like, they're honestly trying to be consumer-focused, saying, hey... They're even saying now, contact us and we will refund you personally. Yeah. And things like that. So they're trying. They're losing a ton of money from this. But at the same time, they'll also say things like, well, we kind of blame these other things, and like, well, we knew, but we did it anyways. Like,
Yeah.
it's a weird mix of honesty and also like, you
Yeah.
probably could have worded it
Again,
better.
I think it's because you have competing interests
Yeah,
within
yeah.
the company.
So
The last thing I'll say about this before we move on to our last topic
Again.
is I'll bet in a couple months from now, like 6 months from now,
this will be all under the
this
bridge.
is gonna not be a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's gonna be out and at least functional.
This will probably mar their next release.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think they'll fix it and make it right eventually. They'll lose a bunch of money considering what they could have made.
So,
I think this definitely should be a learning experience
Yes.
Oh yeah.
for the entire industry.
Yeah,
Yes,
all the industry.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like even like EA, Bethesda,
Yeah.
for what they've done in the past, like all of them need to realize like you got to
This
make
is
a
not-
decently solid game.
Yes. This is, I mentioned, this is kind of inklings of what led to the video game industry crash in '83.
Yeah, your
The
consumers have to
problem
have
was
confidence in.
That people had no confidence in the software they were buying. They got to a point where they felt like they were taking a complete risk
Mhm.
on any title they bought because there were no standards and the market was just full of expensive crap. And consumers have to have a certain level of confidence to know that their money is not being wasted.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think we're getting like that far.
No,
But it is concerning that we're starting to see a modern version of some of the kinds of problems that
and
hurt the industry significantly back then.
there's just been a culture of backlash too
Yeah.
recently, which I think is stress for the year and
Oh yeah.
people getting together want better things and things to be better, but you also have to be careful. Like, yeah, they were getting death threats. They don't deserve death threats, things like that. But yeah, anyways,
So
we could make that a whole stream.
last topic about that.
Yep.
The Game Awards for recently.
Yep.
Let's start with the awards.
Sure.
Were there
Which ones do you want to?
well, just in general, were
Yeah,
there
yeah.
any that stood out to you that were like surprises or like I expected that exactly or
Like, yeah, I think the big thing is Last of Us Part 2 got a lot of awards.
yeah, that's kind of what I predicted.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It is a very well-made
Yeah.
game. It's controversial in some
Yeah.
ways.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, sheer quality, it's hard to compete with that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of those cases of like, it wouldn't be my personal pick, but I completely understand, and I think it's
Yeah.
fine that it got.
I mean, for me, being a really big fan of Final Fantasy VII
Yeah, remake.
and remake, well, Final Fantasy VII and
No,
7 remake.
sure.
I'm really glad that it won what it did because
Yeah.
it did. So it won original score.
Mhm.
Right.
And so I'm totally fine with that. I
Mhm.
think that was definitely well deserved. Game of the year, I am fine that they didn't get Game of the Year. I wish Ghost
Yeah.
of Tsushima got it.
Yeah.
Because that is, I just liked it because it was original.
Yes.
Uh,
That studio always does really good work, and the fact that it was so different, and even like I thought it was some great comments from like some Japanese developers that they were like they made a better Japanese game than Japanese people have recently, and they were almost like disappointed
Yeah.
in themselves and their industry, but they really loved it.
so
which is good
and
sign.
yeah, so my biggest thing is that I wish that Ghost got more
Yes,
recognition
It
as
at least
far
got
as
art.
awards.
Yeah.
the best art is a very good pick
Yeah.
for them.
So
I thought it was cool that the Among Us crew got 2 awards.
Yeah.
They are basically like our size.
So
It's like
I forgot about this and I heard
Yeah.
because that game came out years ago.
2 years.
And they
2
had
years-
disbanded,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden this starts taking off, and they had to get back together
Yeah,
and start
yeah.
throwing things together.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like
so,
3 people, no, 4 now. They
it's
hired.
four people
Yeah.
now, but yeah, it's kind of the same like arrangement as
Yeah.
our team in a way.
So good for them. It was great.
Yeah, pretty awesome, and glad they're seeing success with their project.
Ellen
now.
says that Ghost, also wasn't a disaster at release.
Correct.
It was a
yeah.
very solid game.
Yeah.
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 Some other one that I'm surprised it's not an ongoing title,
Mhm.
but none of its competitors are. I'm surprised Final Fantasy 14 is not in the ongoing.
That was
Kinda should
but
have been.
also
Yeah.
like WoW isn't.
Right.
WoW just
The-
came out with a new expansion.
WoW's been kind of bleeding gamers for a while. Like every time an expansion comes out, of course it skyrockets. Like it was the best-selling PC game until Cyberpunk came out, but then like immediately people drop off as they do the content. So
But
yeah.
I'd like to see that
Oh yeah, definitely.
because
Some of the categories in general were really weird picks.
Yeah.
Like the whole sim strategy. It's like of Sims, Microsoft Flight Simulator is like the definitive sim. So how do you compete with that with like some other strategy games,
Yeah,
which
it
were
is.
some of those were good
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
the best RPG, I know Wasteland 3 was in there. I'm playing that with my brother and absolutely loving it.
It's a very good
I would
series.
have never I've never even
about it,
heard of
right.
it until
Well, I backed him on Kickstarter. So yeah, if I would have known you would have enjoyed it that much, I would have given you a copy from that.
Yeah.
well, it's on Game Pass. So
Yeah.
But
And there's the second one as well. So yeah, Wasteland is some of the people who made the original Fallout.
Right.
So
so I didn't expect it to get best RPG. I'm glad that it was in there because it is very good.
Final Fantasy remake, the 7 remake got best RPG, so that's good. Yeah.
Did it?
Yeah, it did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was one of the other ones that won.
That's the one. Okay, so let's talk about what's wrong with the awards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is like 15 minutes before it started, we got like half
4
or
to 5,
more
yeah.
of the awards, and I'm like, I missed all of that.
Yeah.
Because if the show's starting at this time, I'm going to assume that that's when we're going to go over. So I kind of wish that they would go back because it's not like they spend that much time giving these out anyways.
No.
So
They don't even give a
if
lot
it
of the
was
speeches
15
anymore.
minutes to go through that many awards, make it 15 minutes beforehand or something.
Because it's honestly like 90% ads for previews.
So
and
that
things.
was going to be kind of my next thing.
Yeah.
Is what about structure of the show? And I think that's kind of one of my things. Is like I am glad that this has turned into also being like a game announcement event.
I don't mind that.
I think they just need to balance it more because
it shouldn't be majority that.
It feels now like they've swung too much towards announcements where they're spending like a block of like 45 minutes on announcements and then they cram like the last 10 minutes turning over to the next hour.
Yep.
Let's bang out these awards. Then we're going into another half hour of announcements. It's like, this is the game award.
Yeah.
Like, I'm fine with there being some big announcements and that being just as equal, but I think they need to be equal. Like, give people a little time to speak a little more and actually give the award portion a little more attention. Like,
or I'd almost even be fine if they let all those people have their speech and just post it online later or something, just to give them a moment.
Yeah.
If you want to see what they have to say. They did have a couple of music performances that were good. I always kind of would like one or two more, but sometimes some years they're a mixed bag. Sometimes they're really good. Like the Persona one was great.
Was Outer Worlds a game last year? Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if it took Best RPG for last year.
I'd have to look.
I know it got some stuff.
Yeah.
I also did beat that this year. And it was really good.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, one other one.
Highly recommend.
Hades won Best Indie, which it deserves.
Yep. It
was up for some other categories. Like I could see it maybe taking Best Art, and I think there was one other one. It's a very good game that people should try. I'm always kind of mixed on roguelites, but the way they did it was very well done. There's enough variety, and every time you come back, there's more story. I've died like hundreds of times and still see new dialogue. Half-Life Alex, I'm glad that got Best VR. Not that it had much competition. Like that's a whole other
I mean, there were some other good VR games in that list that I definitely think are worth checking out, but they're just Alex is another level.
Like Dreams is impressive for what that's been able to pull
like
off.
The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners is pretty good, and
so I know you guys remarked about Star Wars game not getting any nominations. So it did get one nomination. So our thing was, so the last Star Wars game, Fallen Order, that came out I guess like
After
the
the
week
time.
or the
Yeah.
week after the awards,
They have
so
like
it
a
missed the
date.
cutoff.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until this year. Now it's been over a year.
Mhm.
You're more than likely going to forget a game like
Yeah.
that. It was very good. I think it was best action adventure.
Yeah.
I think that was the only thing it was nominated
I think
for.
so.
Yeah.
I can look
It
through
didn't win. It is very good.
Yeah.
It was a really good non-Skywalker saga story.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
nice that it was just something that was original.
Yeah.
Yep. The
Yeah. Well,
Or I guess it had Vader in it, so I guess it was kinda.
technically,
but like,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't.
Spoiler.
If
It's
our,
not. It's not like the core story is not.
right.
Yeah.
And I don't think like Luke or anybody that made an appearance. I think it was
No.
just Vader.
Just Vader.
This came up though because we were talking about how like some of the big hitters,
Cider Project.
Yeah.
Or Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk,
Project.
Demon Souls remake,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
these are not going to be in the awards this year, and who's going to be
They-
thinking about that next year?
Oh, I guarantee both of
I'm
those
sure.
will be nominated.
but like
yeah,
it's going to be interesting because there's going to be a lot of other big releases from now.
because at least in the Game Awards defense, Jeff, who runs it, has said in interviews, like even for like Game of the Year, he's not restricting it to that year. He's saying it was the biggest game of that year. So if like for some reason Mario 64 is like the biggest thing next year,
I
like
think the problem
technically
is that he
allowed.
said that, but in practice,
Well-
the awards don't seem to operate.
no,
that way.
but who picks is the gaming press.
yeah, yeah.
They pick them and they vote on them.
But
So
that's-
it would be up to the gaming
Yeah, yeah.
press to
That's what
agree that this is
Right, that's my
yeah,
argument.
yeah.
Is I think it's great sentiment for him
Yeah.
to say that, but I think myself and I know a lot of other press outlets are a little frustrated
Yeah.
that the timing of the award seems to be it's close enough to the typical like November holiday window
yes.
that we seem to keep having some big titles that it's like, okay, well, if this is going to get in, it's going to be a year from now.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if they would just move the awards into like early in the year.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Oscars
Which,
do for film.
I mean, in
or-
theory, they're always going to potentially screw up somebody,
right, but I think
this
given
is the
that
biggest
this
time of
is one
year,
of the
yeah.
big times of year. It would be nice if they just gave it a little more breadth so that those games
even
could
middle of
be
December,
considered.
I think, would help.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So that's something I would like to maybe see them do.
But at the same time, industry wide, I think they need to stop focusing on just this time of year.
Yeah.
Like there's this dead period of like spring, summer that
Yeah.
people forget that like kids are off of school, they're
Right.
probably working and have extra funds. Like
Yeah.
there needs to be more games all year.
So lastly about the Game
Yeah.
Awards announcements.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that Vin Diesel Arc
Oh,
2
God.
trailer.
It was so weird.
It was weird.
Yeah.
I think that's the. So here's the thing. I like the Arc games.
Mhm.
I played a fair amount of Arc 1. They're fun. I like them. I know they're a smaller team than people realize
Oh, yeah.
for the scope of the game and how popular it's become. That trailer just had a lot of weird elements going in. It was too long.
Yeah.
It was kind of uncanny valley on the
Like his head was good, the animations were kind of basic.
the animations were, and the choreography was really rough.
Yeah.
And then like those blood effects looked like they were out of the N64
Somebody just like
era.
pasted it in.
And it was, I hope that pans out to be a good game.
Yeah.
I enjoy that series.
Yeah.
But that trailer was weird.
Yeah,
Perfect Dark for me was
that's gonna be-
a big asterisk.
potentially very good.
The only thing I'm worried about is that I heard rumor that they're targeting a games as a service
Oh,
approach
yeah.
with that, which
And it's an unknown studio. It has good
Yeah,
people behind it.
I hope that's not the case, or if that's the case, they maybe just do the multiplayer component that way.
Yeah.
I want a solid single player or co-op based Turok Diesel.
Right, because we
Yeah.
kept thinking it was
Yeah.
Turok.
Yeah, we thought it was Turok maybe
Yeah.
at first. I'm like, is he starring in a new Turok game? And then I started to think maybe it's Ark. And by the end, when they went in the cave and there's like all the technology,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
totally Ark. And the wrist thingies
Hmm.
gave it away because you have that.
What else was there?
The Back for Blood.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
looks pretty solid.
There's some videos of people in the press playing it live.
Yep.
I started watching one of them. It looks definitely like
Yeah.
Left 4 Dead,
Yeah.
but maybe with some more bits added. Like
Mhm.
one thing is you have the different characters, but you also have different like abilities and loadouts you can do, but you have to unlock them. So that adds a lot more mechanics to that.
Yeah.
So that should be fun. We definitely need to try that.
Yep.
I think Perfect Dark is probably the thing that I was definitely the most surprised about.
Yeah.
So I had heard rumblings that it was maybe a thing, but I did not hear that we were going to be seeing it now.
Yeah.
It sounded like it was something that's like down the road. Now it's still probably way down the road.
Yeah.
But the fact that we got at least a glimpse of just kind of a confirmation. Yes, they're working on it.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So.
Mass Effect and Dragon Age, I'm kind of excited for.
Yeah, Dragon Age for me, for sure.
Yeah.
That looked pretty. It looked better than what I was.
It's further along.
Yeah.
I kind of hope they keep to the aesthetic, because like the way that city looked, it looked way bigger and more impressive than what I've seen in their past cities. So we'll see. I'm kind of tentative on that one. Mass Effect, in theory, should be amazing. I'm really curious where they're going to go with that.
A very simple tease.
Oh yeah, that's what I don't like.
Again, just confirmation that they're continuing.
Yeah.
For me,
We just don't know enough yet.
As long as they can get the right people behind.
I'm really excited for the remakes. I want to see what
Yeah.
they do with those.
Oh yeah, the Smash Sephiroth announcement.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Obviously, was
Good way to
And
start the show.
it's really funny because for me, I'm so done with sword characters in Smash.
Right.
I'm like,
He plays very differently, but yes.
right.
You should
But
watch.
when I found out it was Sephiroth, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah.
okay, fine. This is
Right.
one of those
we'll allow
passions.
it.
You have to pick one sword fighter.
But
Yeah.
because I'm really hoping that the like there's so many. It's like,
Yeah.
can we get somebody else?
Yeah.
Right.
So I watched Sakurai's like playthrough thing, and you should watch it too. It's hilarious, and just the amount of detail they put into these characters is insane. Like, have you seen his stage yet? The stage is the entire last fight scene area.
Oh, gotcha.
So you're flying on the platform is for the stage, but the entire background is like you going into the volcano. You see the platforms you climb. It goes all the way down to where like the holy is being held, and like
nice.
if you finish the stage in a certain time, holy comes out to try to stop meteor, and you see the high wind going around, and
Oh,
then
wow.
the spirit stuff comes out and stops.
Yeah.
Like, it's nuts. It's like a whole thing,
Yeah.
and like
Live
he
stream.
casts spells, and there's like 3 different spells, and then like his ultimate has like status effects, and
Right.
like it's nuts. So there's so much detail.
It Takes Two.
Yep.
It takes
That's
two,
the one with
baby.
the Book of Love or whatever.
Oh,
The
right.
puppet people.
I'll give it this.
Yeah.
It's really over the top, but it goes for it.
It does
Like,
humor much better than
yeah.
some of the other recent games.
I'll be curious, but I have a feeling that one's actually going to draw a lot of positive attention.
Oh yeah. He's been doing really good with those games.
Yeah.
Like I still hear good things on Go Way Out and stuff.
Yeah, I still want to. I mean, it's
Yeah.
on Game Pass, and I do
Yeah.
want to
Well,
play it.
That'd be a good one for you and Ellen, because it's all
Yeah.
co-op.
Yeah.
So, and this one should be too. They teased and showed off bits of that, but this looks way better since they had more time.
Let's see, Evil Dead the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See,
that
I've
one's pretty
never
fun.
really been a big
A big
Evil Dead
sure,
person.
but
Did you
Evil
see
Dead
the
is
like Army of Darkness or whatever? Yeah, that one's fun.
Yeah.
It's just fun, goofy
Yeah.
horror.
Yep.
I could see that being done well, but I kind of want to see more
Yeah.
before we make a judgment on that.
It looks like it could be a decent
Oh, yeah.
fun multiplayer game. Yeah, what else?
I should have
was
made a list of
there?
that. I had the awards up, but I forgot about the announcements.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the big stuff. So
Those are the bigger ones.
overall, I think the format, aside from the balance to me being a little heavy on just announcements,
Mhm.
I think they managed to pull it off well,
Yeah.
despite the pandemic and the.
They did what they could. They had a lot of live streams, which were well done.
Yeah.
They had some famous people.
Returnal,
Oh, Returnal.
I'm looking forward to Returnal.
Yeah.
Elite Dangerous Odyssey.
The Elite Dangerous
I've
Planet Side
Back to
stuff.
Elite Dangerous way back, and I
Yeah.
need to really play it
I need to
now.
hop into that again. So Elite
Yeah.
Dangerous did add VR support. I tried that with my headset. It works really good. It
Mhm.
also works with my flight stick. So like I played a couple hours of like the beginning of it to just see and
Is
yeah.
Elite in there? It probably is.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if it wasn't.
So-
honestly.
Game Developers Conference does, like, quick aside, like post-mortem thing where they have usually really old games. They talk about like what it was like to make that game. One of them I saw back when we first met was Elite, the original game.
Yeah.
And it was like one of the first games to have like wireframe 3D on like, what system was that? Like essentially like a Commodore-like system, like way back in the day. Oh, interesting.
Huh.
But they were one of the first games that also had like a procedural world. So like
Yeah.
the game was tiny because it had to be, but like the entire galaxy was generated.
Yeah.
So you could fly to hundreds of planets that had like their own unique like story and like
Mm-hmm.
system, and it was nuts. And they kind of brought that forward to the new game. So
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Fist, the rabbit with
Oh,
the robot
yeah, yeah.
arm.
Oh yeah, that one.
They showed that before, but they showed a little more like story segments,
Mhm.
and it looks fun. Kind of like a 2.5D thing, platformer.
And then the Arc anime.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'll give them this. They have a crap ton of talent
Yeah.
on the voice cast.
Including Vin Diesel. He's like the producer
they
on that.
have a lot of talent
Yeah.
on the voice cast.
The art
Whether or
style,
not- the art styles.
it
decent.
reminds me of Airbender.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's what I thought of.
the kind of American
So,
anime kind of style.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe
I
turn
assume
out
it'll
to
be decent.
Something
The teas look
worth
decent.
checking out. But yeah, the trailer for that
Was better
was
actually.
almost better than the
Yep.
RPG trailer. But
Oh, I did think it was funny that they had.
all the indie games have the same aesthetic. Yeah.
Yeah, they
That's-
really do. I was mentioning that multiple times.
Yeah, that's one thing that kind of concerns me a little bit because
It still looks good, but you're gonna definitely tell this time period was like that
Yeah.
indie style.
yeah, I mean, this kind of goes back to just for me, kind of the core like concept of why are you making the game you're making? Like, are you following a trend?
I think a
Or
part of it
are
is
you
like
really like
it's a simpler art style instead of
Sure.
going like full real. But
yeah.
everyone's
but
kind
it's
of
not-
borrowing the
I
same
guess
aesthetic.
my thing is, I don't think it's just the art style.
Sure.
I think it's the tone.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think
Oh,
it's
definitely the
the type
tone.
of story and the type of game.
There were what, like 3 or 4
Yeah.
road trip games in this one
yeah,
show.
I'm just kind of like I feel like the indie space is starting to suffer a little bit from
Yeah, do it.
people trying to follow the trends a little bit more.
Yeah.
And like for me, like I have a game, concept. I want to bring that to life because I have a really unique idea.
Hmm.
Like I'm not looking at like what the current,
Yeah.
fads are, or I'm not taking like
Well, even me, like if I had any ideas, it would be more on like the style of gameplay, not necessarily
Right.
fitting that same visual style.
right.
That's why I do really appreciate those games that do kind of go out of their way. Like
Yeah.
Hades does look like that studio's games, but it looks so unique compared
Right.
to anything else. Or Ori and the Blind Forest is
Yeah.
amazing,
Yeah.
and it has really good gameplay.
Oh, what is that?
Is a stand?
Those bases for whatever it is.
Is that
in
the
there?
special one?
Well, so this is Tifa,
Oh,
but like I don't know what the other thing that's in there. So
And she's a
Tifa's in
little
this,
protective
but this one, unless did Barrett's have it?
or is it one of those things where you like piece together the rare one? They've done that before on Gotcha.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Her and her sharp polygonal boobs.
Yeah.
So these are
Or are they bases for?
I
Are they puzzle pieces that make?
I
her-
guess they're bases. Cause yeah, I don't know because it's only in hers. So like
hell?
if I was selling these, they're nothing. They're just little black discs.
They have like a character on them. Oh yeah, they have a Japanese character on them. What the hell?
Huh. They're not magnetic? I don't know if it's magnetic.
Mm,
Yeah, because like
No,
it wouldn't
they're not.
fit.
those are
Unless you're
weird.
supposed to put like one under each foot. That would be weird.
Watch them be like test pucks.
But
that got
again,
thrown in.
why would it only have been in hers but not
Yeah,
his?
I don't know.
It's her special ability to throw black pucks.
we're gonna have to research
Hang
this.
on to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Maybe you just got the golden ticket, Logan. Maybe it's a thing where like you reach out to them to ask what the heck it is, and you win some big prize.
Weird.
Well, it's been quite a stream.
Yeah.
So okay. So since we talked about this,
Yeah.
is there any quick thing that you would be looking forward to for next year? Because I'm trying to figure out what game I know that's coming out next year.
So honestly, the
mean-
first thing that comes to mind is Mass Effect,
Yeah.
but
Is
like
that
the
coming
new,
out next
the
year?
new one is
Yeah,
not, but
the
the
remake,
remaster,
the
I kind of want to
remake,
play
yeah.
that again.
I was really hoping for updates on the new Diablo game,
Yeah.
as well as the Diablo 2 remaster.
Yeah, I don't know. That company is always weird though. I don't know when they're gonna talk about that.
For me, there's a lot. I mean, a lot of the big Sony stuff.
Oh yeah,
I mean, you've got,
there's some
like,
amazing games.
yeah.
Final Fantasy is supposed to be next year.
Yeah, Final Fantasy
So-
next year. You've
Ratchet
got
and Clank.
Ratchet
Yeah.
and Clank. Hopefully, Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
That's their schedule. They're still flying that.
Was
Uh,
Forza next year as well?
I think so.
Yeah.
Horizon.
Horizon.
God of War 2.
Next year is honestly going to be amazing, as long as things don't get delayed.
And Resi 8.
Oh yeah, BlizzCon. I forgot if that got delayed.
Yeah.
It did get delayed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
But yeah, I mean, there's a lot, and that's just scratching the surface. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, Halo hopefully
Oh,
doesn't get delayed again.
speaking of Blizzard, Overwatch 2 technically hasn't come
Yeah.
out yet. That was
Yeah.
supposed to have like a whole single player campaign and new maps. I don't know if I might play it because the first one's good. Yeah, next year's gonna be very good as long as they don't get like delayed until the
Right.
other year. God of War is supposed to be next
Yep.
year. Yeah,
Yep.
it's gonna be nuts.
I'm gonna beat it. All right.
Yeah,
I'm telling
yeah.
you that I'm gonna beat it, and I'm telling you guys I'm gonna beat it.
Big fan.
I've been
You've been busy.
I've been playing other games.
Yeah.
I mostly blame Final Fantasy 14 for keep sucking you back in.
And it sucks because there's a lot of
There's
of content.
still more content.
They're just about done with the Shadowbringers
Mm-hmm.
patches to where the next thing is going to be the next expansion.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
And then
crazy
that's
how
gonna
much.
so
they add.
like I really
You're gonna be.
so yeah, it's just
I
you
think
know.
for an MMO that has some of the most content I've seen for an MMO. Like even WoW has a decent amount, but it's mostly just empty quests. Like you have like full on voice story moments and like
Yeah.
all this extra like bonus boss battles and stuff. Just nuts. But yeah, I think it'll be a good year. I'm curious. We'll probably start seeing some more things like 7 Remake Part 2 and
Yep.
some other stuff.
hopefully.
There's Nintendo stuff that we haven't heard of for years,
Yeah.
like
Metroid.
Metroid.
Prime 4. You've got Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah.
And supposedly these other projects.
Yeah, wasn't there like a Mario one that got rumored, or maybe they're almost due for another Mario?
Yeah.
Uh-uh.
But yeah. It'll be
No, because
interesting.
Zelda's gonna be first. Before that, I would assume.
Sure, I just
The
didn't know if they
next
would have
Zelda.
announced it.
I mean, I.
Breath of the
can-
Wild 2 would be there.
That,
Zelda.
yeah. That's
Not sure if you
probably-
mentioned, but your sweaters are incredible. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are all my sweaters.
Yeah.
You found one that fit.
Right. This is the third time's a charm.
Yep.
That one I bought did not fit me, but it fits Sean.
Mhm.
That
Just
one I
barely.
bought did not fit me, but it fits Shane. And then I just got this one today, and it
Yep.
finally fits. But
Oh.
I've out of all of, I mean, I don't know. I still really like that one.
Yeah,
But
I feel
like,
bad because
you
I
know,
haven't played as much
SpongeBob's fun.
Zelda.
Yeah.
That would have been my nice fun one, but nope. Stupid.
It has to go to the second best
Uh-huh.
fan.
Well, Logan,
Hmm.
why don't you send us up?
And on that bombshell, no. Yep. So thanks for joining us on our holiday stream. I hope you guys all have a fun and safe holiday and New Year's and safe. Next year, the year after that. That's
It can't
okay.
get worse, right?
But if you follow us on social media on Konsui Fighter on both Twitter and Facebook, as well as Circean Studios on both of those as well.
Like you said, we're gonna try to do more streams.
Yeah,
often.
I'm definitely gonna try to have us do more consistent streams. So other than that, you can also still, if you have not picked up Konsui Fighter, we do have an early access of it on Android.
Yep.
Just search Konsui Fighter in the Google Play Store, and you can go ahead and play what we have right now. And then every update that we're doing between now and launch, you'll get all of those.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for joining us.
Yep.
Happy holidays,
Yeah.
and we'll see you next year.